Rated T for teen.
Please be the right game club. Please be the right game club. Please be the right game club. This is Achievement Hunting 101. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm FuFuCuddilyPoof, and it is good to be back as the rightful, not fake host of the show.
Hey.
Now with me, back.
I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back.
Okay,
Backstreet's back, all right.
I was just had a hiccup, and I was trying not to get a little bit of phlegm up.
That was for Fug.
Right there.
Fug told me he likes when I sing, so that was for him.
But yes, back with me to make the average age. Forget it. Joining me is Nate and Ell. What is up, guys?
Wow.
I had a joke and it got
Ageism.
messed up, so screw it. I'm just skipping over that.
You're here to lower the age average? Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what he was trying to say.
Yes,
He's age-shaming us.
I am age-shaming you.
Ageist.
Shaging. Yeah,
But forget it.
Like
Yeah,
ageist
coming
wing.
from Elle, who said I wasn't a real girl.
No, I didn't say that in front of everyone, just in front of the patrons.
Phew. Man, so the
You're not a
patron...
real girl. You should be in the kitchen if you were a real girl, not playing video games. Making me a sandwich.
I don't know where to go from there.
Wow,
As
this
far
is
away
achievement.
as you can.
It's achievement related.
So,
I had a
Sarah,
sandwich
who
before
is
we
a
started.
real girl, how has your week been? How have you been?
It's been good. It's been actually quite relaxing, quite nice. I did some
That's
things
good.
besides not gaming, so
It's been
that
so
was
long
kinda
since
nice.
we've talked to you.
Yes, so long. So yeah, it's been a good week. Let me look at my list here because I have old people brain as well, just like you, Kenny.
Hey.
So this week I had the ambition of, hey, I'm going to start on, my Game Pass games. Like I said last time I was on the show, I did go back to one of them. I played The Gardens Between for about 10 minutes. Got distracted and ended up playing Letter Quest instead.
Got distracted.
Yes.
Sounds like got bored and decided to go to Letter
It
Quest.
was. I like the graphics. It's Gardens Between is very pretty. I like the premise, the boy and the girl reuniting back together, and the puzzles are clever, but it's just boring. It's so repetitive.
What'd you say?
It looks incredibly boring. Wait, use a guide. How
Yeah,
much
guide.
more boring can it get?
Guide user.
It requires a lot of text reading.
What, Letter Quest?
Yeah, or playing the game. Yeah.
Wait, I was thinking Gardens Between. My bad.
No, the Gardens Between I was using a guide. But it's not a good game to play when I'm really tired and not paying attention. So yeah, that's when I ended up switching to Letter Quest.
Oh, I hate when people don't pay attention. What game were you talking about again?
I think she was talking about Uno.
Damn it.
Oh, that's
Sold me out. You sold me out. Sold me up the river.
So yeah, still chipping away at Letter Quest. I was able to knock out a ton of miscellaneous achievements on that. I've been really, really enjoying the game. And Elle, I have not been using a guide for Letter
You
Quest.
shouldn't. What are you going to use? A jumbled solver? This game is so easy.
Well, actually, yeah. Some people
Most
do.
games are... Because people are fucking stupid. Really? Come on. Oh, Kenny's writing down the time
There's one sensor.
of when I said fuck. Come on.
And two.
Letter Quest was actually really fun, and there was all
Yes.
different weapons and stuff, and
Yes,
I
I have
really
a very
don't remember.
Christmas-looking. I have a Christmas-looking scythe, and it's really sweet.
oh, there was a guy and a girl. There was RPG elements that made it good,
Yes,
Other-
it's been really fun.
RPG?
and there's some decent humor in there too.
Okay.
The descriptions of all the enemies were funny.
Yes, they have been. It has been funny and fun. So another game that's probably up Nate's alley that I've been playing, thanks to RTDL, I've been sucked into all these games, but the last game I ended up playing for RTDL was Torchlight, and that has been really fun. Like, that's pretty much all I've been playing. So I'm very close to the end. I'm like in the last dungeon. I've been taking my dear sweet time with it, really enjoying it, and I don't think I'm going to have to grind too much for the fame because I took so long to get down to the end of the dungeon. So yeah, it's been really good. I haven't played very many dungeon crawlers, and this kind of piques my interest in the other ones.
About how many hours did you put into it?
I'm guessing I'm at probably about 10 to 12 right now.
Oh, cool. Because I think I played it on the PC, and then I think I got it for the 360, and then never played it because I don't think I've gotten a single achievement in it yet.
I remember it's easily diveable.
Yes.
Maybe
But-
I dived
Easily
it in
diveable, and yet Nate still hasn't gotten an
July
achievement.
2013 is when I dived it, probably during an actual bean dive. Change your pet by feeding it fish. Yeah. That would be a bean dive. 10 to 12 hours is the completion estimate.
So why aren't you done, Sarah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
guide
I'm
user.
enjoying it and playing it for fun.
There we go.
Oh boy.
Without a guide.
Did
I guess RTDL's over with, so it's okay to play for fun
so
now.
are you gonna get the sequel?
Yes, I would like to, but
I think it's co-op, maybe.
It does have co-op, yep.
But the thing is, though, I think it's the struggle with most of us is we have such a huge backlog that why am I going to keep buying more and more and more, especially at full price? When,
Why?
Yep. Especially if you have Game
Why
Pass.
ask why?
Yeah. So,
Well, what else are you going to spend your money on?
purses, apparently. Shoes. I don't
Oh, I
know.
guess you are a real girl. Wow. I thought you were going to say formula. Jeez. That's what I expected.
Utensils for the
diapers. Yeah. You need purses.
Yeah,
You
diapers
should put
and
your controllers
formula.
in there. Yeah, those are the things you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do buy a few of those things. Food, that kind of stuff. But, pay for my house, essential things. So I had the honor of doing a impromptu Human Fall Flat boost with Wakapeil over the weekend. That was very, very delightful.
She's got the terminology.
I was going to say delightful. You get it.
Yes, Angel Waka lived up to his name. So he started it very late in his time and was kind enough to drag 7 of us through almost the entire game again. He said he was only going to do a few levels at first. He was really tired and needed to go to bed, but he's like, oh, I'll just do another one. Oh, I'll do another one. And another one. We're like, it's fine, go to bed. But he ended up taking us through almost the entirety of the game. So I'm now sitting at like 51 of 54 achievements in the game, and I have literally done nothing.
What a gentleman.
Yes, he was a gentleman, and he even gave me tips like, hey, go drown yourself 10 times. That's an achievement.
Now, wait a minute. Could you go fishing?
You can fish as in like throw your own body in there, and someone can pull you out.
Yes.
What is it?
I was actually
Noodling, I think it is, where you like put your fingers in the water and you do this and wait for the fish to bite him. And then you pull them out.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, that was reminiscent of our of the Patreon segment.
So
I wish that would have came up during the Patreon segment. That would have been even better.
I was part of the session as well, and I started off in party, and I was trying to watch football, and I would come back and forth between the party, and every time I would put the headphones back on, the headset, I would hear Waka yelling at Kingsman, "Can you please help me?"
Yes.
And then Kingsman would be yelling at you, Sarah, and I don't know what you did wrong, but Kingsman's got a very bad temper to be yelling at you like that.
He actually could not keep his hands off of Thomas's character. Anytime I looked over at
I was wondering where that was going.
screen,
Oh, my.
Kingsman was all up in Thomas's grill. Like, I don't know what. Yeah, apparently Kingsman has a thing for Thomas because, he always his character is always going up to Thomas and putting his sticky hands all over Thomas and dragging him around.
Jeez.
Hey, even Waka described them as sticky
Oh
hands.
my gosh.
That's what they are.
What is this show tonight?
Made him blush.
We might need some new boosting guidelines.
So,
Hashtag me too.
But yeah, other than that, played my usual Gems of War. For the other 7 other listeners that care and play this game, there is new DLC coming out approximately in 2 weeks.
That's insane.
So, yeah, apparently soul grinding is going to be a lot harder. So, if you need to rack up souls, you should probably do that now. And they're completely changing the explore mode. So, if you're grinding for trait stones that way, you might want to hop on that and do that before the update.
Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm. And I am playing Gears Pop, but we can wait to do our Gears Pop segment later, so...
Or you can do it now and get it out of the way.
No, Redemption said more pop, so we need to do a whole segment just for him.
Yeah, we can come back to it. You guys have listened to me talk long enough.
She's self-conscious.
All right, yeah, be quiet.
It's not like someone coined it pTarting or anything.
Yeah, stop pTarting. Get your little Achievement Fest shirt. Quiet. Go make me a ham and cheese. And
Star Wars pajama pants.
Heck yeah.
Naughty little girl.
What the
Nathan.
Yes, I am a naughty little girl. You are correct.
That's who I was talking to, of course.
What the hell?
Yeah, so I played some games.
Video games?
I played some video games. Oh. Once RTL was done, I wanted to go back and do some of my backlog as well. And then I said, backlog or just for fun. And,
why not both?
What's more fun than Dead Cells? So.
A lot of things.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. It's so good. It's so good. So being able to play Dead Cells without, being under the gun and having to, manage time was great. I went in and I got, let's say like 3 or 4 achievements that, I hadn't gotten before. And got the spider rune, which is nice. So now I can climb walls, and that's going to open up a lot more. It's going to open a lot more places that I can go to, which will make getting some other achievements possible now, which is nice. And I tried and failed at the save state trick for Dead Cells because I accidentally got all the way to the Hand of the King, which is, I think, the last boss. And there is a save state trick in Dead Cells on the Xbox. I don't think it works on the PC, where when you hit the guide button,
Master Race.
When you come back from the guide button, so you go to the dashboard and you come back into the game, that's when your save state is saved. It's when you come back. So then, if you don't take, if you're not going to win or you're going to die in the middle, rather than having to do an entire run, you wait to die. So as soon as you see that your health is done and you see like you have died, you want a dashboard, get out of it, shut the game down, bring it back up. When you do that, you'll be back at the place where you first pressed the guide button. I didn't do that. I did it at the wrong time, and instead I came back at the starting point for the game. So I need to practice that to get the timing down, because that's going to help with the no death and the no hit achievements. So that is something I want to do in the future. I don't want to just only play Dead Cells. So I played some other things.
That's something I'll have to keep in mind.
Yes.
I just double checked because I recently downloaded this game because it is a Microsoft Rewards quest to play some Dead Cells. So
the first couple,
I'll be starting that soon.
I think you only need 2 achievements, and you can get 2 achievements pretty easily. Getting to the first zone, and then if you just kill yourself with an elevator in the second zone, you're good to go. Then Carnage and other people mentioned a game that had a exploit that may or may not have been patched, or maybe was going to be patched because the developer was talking about it. And that's something Elena Temple. And it's a $5 game. And there was a
Legends of the Elena Temple.
there's an exploit at the very beginning of the game. It only has 2 levels right now. The developer is going to add a third, which is going to have achievements. That came from Carnage. He was talking to him, and maybe I shouldn't have said that, so Kenny, edit this out. And there's an exploit where you can jump out the top of the level, and if you're playing the first level, you can run all the way to the right and jump off and keep holding right, and you'll eventually go through a little hole in the floor, which ends the level, and that will get you about 4 or 5 achievements. And some of those would be really difficult, not shooting more than 20 times and something else, like getting all the coins. I don't know. Basically some stuff that would have been difficult. And then I was like, you know what? I want to see if that's possible for the second level. And you load up the second level, you do the exploit. Well, now on the right is a huge wall. So I was like, okay, let's just jump off to the left. And sure enough, you jump off to the left and you keep holding left and you land on the top of a level, and you can drop down into the hole and complete the level. But the achievement didn't pop for completing the second level. And so the developer is toying with the idea of, does he leave them in? Does he change them? Does he give you something else for doing them? So you might want to do that now. I don't think he's in any rush to get those out. But if you want to get those difficult ones out of the way, go ahead. I think once you're done that, it's only like 2 to 3 hours of actual play to get everything else cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks like you got died 20 times maximum during a playthrough. Finish the game in less than 40 minutes. Shoot less than 100 bullets during a playthrough. Dispose of maximum 20 enemies. Yep.
So, since you didn't shoot anybody,
so,
kill anybody,
that sounds easy.
Yeah. So those are, going to be more difficult.
And the game still has a healthy 1.6 ratio.
What's the player count on
217. 55 completions, but
well, the developer, he said he saw a noticeable bump once the exploit was announced. So,
uptick.
For a small developer, the achievement community can definitely move the needle.
ACA.
Yeah, the developer does actually have, or it may have closed, but he did have a vote on what the players thinks that he should do with it. Patch it, new content, or just leave it as it is. I didn't see what the result was of it because I do not have a Twitter. So I wanted to vote to keep it open because I think that's really cool that the developer is actually asking that. And, it definitely attracts us gamers. But yeah, I'm not.
I mean, I would maybe want him to close it so that the TA goes up. But other than that, no, I think exploits are kind of cool. And the fact that he accidentally left this one in there is fun.
Yeah, totally. Accident.
Yeah. So
that is not a Kenny game.
Yeah. I mean, it's not so bad. When you're playing it for real, you can go from room to room and you can die as many times as you want. So once you do the exploit, the rest of it's just, forcing your way through all the rooms. So
can you make this full screen, or does it have to be on the...
I think it has to be in that reduced mode. Because this is a game, I believe, I could be totally wrong on this. I believe it was ported from, an older game that he had written, or it's supposed to be a throwback to that old style of game. If you don't know what this is like, imagine the rare replay games that were garbage, where you're going from room to room. I think they were like it was the werewolf one, Saber or whatever. So it's like that, but I think a little bit better, and you don't have that third dimension that you're walking in. I guess it would be second dimension. Math is weird. So once I was done with Elena Temple, and it didn't take me very long, I did that in about 5 to 10 minutes on Saturday or Sunday. I saw that Chewy had challenged me to complete Bridge Constructor so he could finish it first, and he hadn't made any progress on it. And I was like, you know what? I just want to get that game done. And I think the last time he challenged me, I didn't even do anything. So I'll just go ahead and I'll do that. And so I spent a couple of hours over the course of 3 days just using a guide and completing all the levels.
So boring.
Yeah, that game's not great. It's not great to use a guide on that. And you definitely want to have a podcast or something going on in the background, or you're just gonna hate it.
That game's
or Gossip Girl.
No, just pictures. There's just pictures of the solutions that work. And And there's multiple
Sometimes.
solutions. There are multiple solutions that could work, but these ones, for the most part, all worked pretty well. There were one or two that, I think the guide even said, these are iffy. So if it doesn't work, just try it again, and just try it again, and just try it again. And eventually, it should work. And I had a couple, 2 or 3 that were that way. They were just kind of like luck based. There's a little bit of randomness to, will this truck explode? Will it not explode?
That's the annoying part about that game.
Yeah. The most annoying part is when you complete the level and they honk at you. Like, honk, honk. It's very
You're
annoying.
not wrong.
At 1 a.m. when, you have people in the house trying to sleep, and I probably should have turned the sound off, but, so yeah.
Just thought it was traffic, no big deal.
So that game is done, and I think Chewy responded to it. The fact that, our challenge was over with a, what? Like, you're actually doing it? And then, I decided, you know what? With all my free time, not trying to cram stuff in for RTDL, I'm actually going to start, walking on the treadmill again. So I started walking on the treadmill, in the mornings, and the best type of gaming for that are like the word games like Letter Quest or, Spell Tower, or things like OXENFREE and Firewatch. Basically ones where I don't want to use a guide.
A walking sim while you're walking.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, exactly.
I see what you did
Scroll
there.
player. So rather than following a guide or doing something where I have to like move around the screen, I've tried to play like fighting games while I'm walking on the treadmill, and it's just going to end in blood. There's just going to be blood, so much blood on the floor. So I figured I shouldn't do that. So I play things that don't
Stream
really
this
require
if it happens.
moving around the screen so much. So yeah, I've been playing OXENFREE a little bit, and I got out of the cave, so that's good. And I got to the first part where you have to do things over again, and I was like, what? So I'm just I want to finish this before Game Club is done so that I can listen to it a little bit and kind of see what's going on. But I think an initial playthrough is like 3 hours, so I have a couple more days, I think. Then I'll be done.
So you're on your first run of this game, right, Nate?
Yes, totally,
Okay.
totally. Yeah, and I just discovered, because I was just like, you know what, I should probably see if I'm doing this the right way. And I went through and I looked and I'm like, oh, well, I may have to do 4 runs because I've just been choosing whatever I feel like choosing.
No, you want to keep it that way. You want to keep it totally organic your first
I was
playthrough.
just about to ask
That's
that.
how I like to do things, but I don't think I want to do 4 playthroughs. But luckily,
wait a minute, Sarah. You admitted to using a guide on your playthrough.
I did, but then I got rid of it.
Doubt.
And I didn't play with Thomas anymore either.
I like to think of myself as a nice guy. So when I'm playing the game, I tend to take the nice guy answers. Like, take
rude,
people's
though.
feelings into consideration. Don't be a jerk. Unless I'm playing a Star Wars game, and then I know for a fact I'm doing the good side, and then I'm doing the dark side. But yeah, this game I tend to have the nice answers and not try to be a jerk. And I know that there are different ways to approach that. So
Then you could do bad person, right? And then silent?
I'm fine with doing bad and silent. That's not a problem. But like the first run through, I was like, I'm just going to do this organically and just do what I feel like I want to do if I was this person. And so hopefully I haven't locked myself out of certain achievements that will require a 4th run. And I might just peek and see, okay, well, did I do that or should I just go? And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about that yet. So,
well, don't worry, Nate. If you get stuck, the last 2 or 3 episodes of our podcast have a game club. The same game club.
There it is. Just waiting for the shot.
well, yeah, that way I won't have to back up. I can just
You could
listen
just
to the next
listen to it
podcast.
over and
That
over
makes
and
sense.
over, and then after we're done talking, you can listen to it again.
Just waiting for the shot. I knew it was coming.
Oh no, you did great, Kenny.
It is fitting with the game, though, that you did accidentally put the same one in again, because, I mean, it works with the whole, time loop
Everybody's
concept.
afraid can't you do this? Can't you do that?
I was
you.
I was saying it was fitting. It was. I wasn't
It's very
complaining.
clever. It's very meta.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
I
sure
thought-
that's.
I heard
Sorry,
pTartTX
X.
bribed you to do that, so she could be on 3 episodes in a row somehow. That's what I heard.
Yes, that is my goal in life, apparently.
I think.
Oh, speaking of goals, it made talking about Chewy made me think of that. So I challenged him to overtake his completed games, and then he threatened to rip my arms off.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And Fighter Chip did not take too well to my goals. In fact, he even declined some of my invitations.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rude.
Well, I accepted
know.
yours.
It's not a
I appreciate it. Thank you, Nate.
Thing to do.
Yeah. Trying to
Chip
overtake
accepted
me.
my goal.
She's trying to overtake me in achievements earned.
Yeah, I've set a lot of goals recently. It's been kind of fun finding, like, because some of, my gaming friends, like, I'm not even remotely close in gamer score. Like, it's just not even possible for me to catch up. Or
I know the feeling.
Some
so
more friends
I'm
like
just
Foof, I was going to say, yeah.
so I'm trying to find like stats that I can kind of overtake some of my other friends in. And with being completed games and my percentage being my strong point, I've just been kind of looking for, ways to kind of give myself some incentive to take over some other people on TA. Fug, I'm still coming for you.
He's probably yelling at a cloud somewhere. You could catch him pretty easily.
So, no, that's been fun. And just watching Chip's reaction to all those goals. Because apparently everybody needs to overtake his completed games count. And then say, Chip, you suck.
You don't need any reason to
Thank
say
you,
that.
Al.
You could just say that at any time.
I'm sorry, Chip.
Chip-a-pa-pa, you suck, is what?
Yes.
Yes, I may have said that on TA after jumping into an unattainable goal.
What is his completed count?
7.
No, 487.
Darn.
Dang, I got a long way to go.
He's out of reach for me.
They need to keep coming out with Trials games to keep him busy. But he eventually completes those too.
So, yeah, I think I'm still at 457 right now. So I have a little bit to catch up to him as well.
Keep using those guides and you'll get there.
I'm almost starting to regret that I have made that known.
Why? Part of your charm. You gotta have some
Sure.
charm.
I tried.
Dang.
I just thought it was
Well
all the
then.
golden chests,
Just
but,
want to see if... Oh, that's supposed to come up later.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it already came up for Foof when thinking about your golden chests. But other than that, look, he's blushing again. How is it possible for Casper to blush?
So I just see him writing down a timestamp for when he's going to go back.
He's not going to edit this out. He's too lazy. He's going to just put OXENFREE on Game Club.
It's gonna see what- We'll see what mood I'm in tomorrow when I'm editing. So if all of a sudden there's just this long, just blank, and you hear this right now, I edit something out that Elle said.
I could see your long blank right now, actually.
So what games did you play this past week, Kenny?
Oh my god, what is this show? I think that's like the 4th or 5th time I've said that between the Patreon stuff and this. Holy crap.
You started it.
I did not. I played Final Fantasy VII this week.
Great.
So I've really only played 2 games worth mentioning. I actually had kind of like an annoying heart attack-ish inducing week with games. So before I get to anything, Elle, where are you at in Final Fantasy VII?
You know that part where climb the tower and you jump off and you die, and then you fall in the marsh, and then the chocobo saves you, and he goes quack quack, and then you go and then he kills you, and then it's over.
Side note, I love the chocobo music on Final Fantasy 13. It sounds like you're at a classy casino.
Okay, now I gotta look up the
very
13.
classy.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I'm waiting for you to beat this game because I'm interested in what your thoughts are.
Oh man,
But I know I'm probably gonna be waiting a very long time.
We just got. Yeah, I'm still up to where we got Yuffie.
Yuffie, but okay. But
How do you know? How do you know?
Because
It's Japan. It can be pronounced anything. It's probably
go
her name's
watch
probably
the
Maria.
movie. Go watch the movie.
That Advent Children? Yeah, I did 20 years ago. I fell asleep on it.
I heard it was awful.
Everyone says it's awful. I must be the only person that actually enjoyed it.
It's pretty not great.
Did you also enjoy the live
12
action?
years since I've seen it.
Did you also enjoy the live action Death Note?
Spirits Within?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen the anime Death Note, so.
You call yourself an anime nerd and you haven't seen that one?
I have never called myself an anime nerd. I enjoy anime, but in all honesty, I've not seen that much in the grand scheme of things.
No Attack on Titan?
I've watched Attack on Titan.
Okay. How about My Bride is a Mermaid?
My what?
How are you making stuff up?
The sad part is I'm not sure if you're for real or not, but anime is so out there that it probably is a real one.
No, I actually really enjoyed that one. My Bride is a Mermaid.
How
Thomas
about
also enjoyed that one too.
Akira?
How about Scooby-Doo?
Did I make that up?
Yeah, so in Final Fantasy, there is no rails. There are absolutely no rails this week. So I'm kind of towards the end. I'm getting close to finishing it. I'm actually at the point of no return now. So now I gotta go through, do all the the end the game grinding type stuff, get the max amount of gil and limit breaks and all that kind of stuff. And in getting there, I don't know if I've ever actually said this on the show or not. So if I have before, sorry. But when I used to play this game on the PlayStation 1, I've actually only beaten the game probably 2 times. Like one a bunch of years ago, and the second time I probably beat it around 6 or 7 years ago, which has been the most recent time I played the game, minus obviously the stuff on Xbox. And one of the things that would always happen is I would constantly experience some sort of like game breaking glitch or something like that. My data got corrupted. My brother would save over my save file, or I would accidentally delete it because, back then we had memory cards. And I had something like that happen this week. So I'm going down on a ladder in the game, and I get to the very end. Whenever you get on and off ladders, it makes that noise. And
Sure.
I'm like coming off the ladder, and like the game registered that I'm off the ladder, but it sat there and it kind of kept me on the ladder at the same time. So I couldn't get off. I'm like stuck. I'm like, great. Been playing for a good bit. I don't remember the last time I saved. So I'm sitting there for a minute just trying to, push all the buttons, trying to get off the stupid thing, get on the ladder, off the ladder. Nothing's working. And, the music's kind of sitting there going, and, it's a mute. And all of a sudden, it gets to one note, and it just goes, and the game just completely, totally stops working. I'm going, oh no. And I'm like having PTSD flashbacks from the old PlayStation era. And I'm like, crap, my game's gone. I'm going to have to start over. But it was a little stressful because I'm just sitting there thinking about that all again. I'm like, oh, great. If my save file is corrupt or something happened, I'm going to be mad. Fortunately, though, there's no memory card, so I do still have my save file, but had a little bit of a heart attack on that one. And
That's an awesome story, Kenny.
The beeping reminded me of the beeping from Nate's bridge game.
Oh, yeah.
Bridge game?
Yep. Bridge constructor.
Ah.
Not the, he doesn't get together with a bunch of ladies and play bridge.
Not if there's anything wrong with that.
He is old.
But he's also not female.
Yeah, so the other game I played was, like I said before, I was going to get it because it was on sale, was Crash Bandicoot. And holy crap, this game is way, way harder than I remember it being. Which was funny because I was listening to Ell's favorite other gaming podcast, the X1 Bros.
Yeah.
And a question came up, and it was, what's one of the games that from your childhood that you remember, being way more difficult or way easier than you remember if you go back to it? And as I'm sitting there listening to it, I'm going, crash, crash, crash. Because holy crap, some of these jumps and these platforming and whatnot, that game ain't easy. there's a couple parts in there that I've almost broken another controller. It's really getting to me. At one point, I had the controller raised up over my head, and I saw the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 thing again, and my controller exploded. I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't break another controller, because then we only have one left in the house, and that's not going to be good. It's like, oh my gosh, Crash is
you need
good
to go to some
game, but it is
management
difficult.
counseling, my friend. Someone...
I need something to be able to throw. I used to throw the old $6
nice.
headphones.
Maybe you should invest in a stress ball.
Yeah, a fidget spinner or something.
Mm-hmm.
I have a fidget cube.
Or a large pink squirrel.
Yeah.
Large pink squirrel. Okay, yeah.
That is Corgan's pink squirrel.
Sure it is. Oh my gosh.
So random question, controller or remote? Which do you refer to it as?
It depends. It's the TV remote, but the Xbox controller.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Sarah. You're wrong on this one.
Apparently I am.
Controller's not a remote.
I will say, calling it a remote is better than calling it a paddle.
What?
Why would you call it a paddle?
Exactly! That's exactly what I'm saying.
You don't
You've
play
never
ping
heard
pong
that.
with it. You don't use it to spank your children. It's
Whoa.
I have a couple of friends, and they don't say controller. They don't say remote. They say paddle. Like, hey,
Really?
Kenny, pass me the paddle.
Are they
What?
olds?
No, they're my age.
Weren't paddles like... You ever see... You probably never
I have
seen...
no idea why they call it that.
Those rolly balls in the arcades.
Are they EMTs?
Clear.
No, they call the controllers paddles. I have absolutely no idea why.
So is it Jimmy's or Sprinkles?
What?
It depends on who I'm around.
Sprinkles, but yeah, it could be either.
I say sprinkles
never heard of
unless I
that.
know someone has the pet peeve, in which case I then call them Jimmy's.
What about ants? Do you call them ants?
Who calls them ants? I've never heard them called ants.
No, yeah. I grew up
Maybe
in
I'm
that.
making that up.
Are you thinking of ants on a log?
I'm thinking so
Ants
when
in your
you
pants?
used to get like a Carvel cake, so an ice cream cake, there'd be like in between the two layers of cake or ice cream or whatever it was, there'd be like those little Oreo crumbs. And for some reason, I remember calling those ants. Maybe
Were
it's
you like
me.
4?
Well, back then, yeah. I mean, not saying I wouldn't eat one today, but back then when you'd get them, yeah, 4 seems about right.
Yeah,
Okay, I
that takes
can
me
see
back to those
calling
classic
them
Dairy
ants.
Queen ice cream cakes.
I haven't had Dairy Queen in a long time.
So what
Fudgy
else?
oil.
I'm so glad I'm the one that derails conversations. Holy
Well, we
cow,
have to talk
guys.
about food somewhere on this podcast.
Unbelievable.
And Corey's not here to talk about Taco Bell, so
Gong.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this where you add in the sound effect
Well,
for
last
it?
week you inserted nothing, you lazy bastard, so I have to do it for you, apparently. Gong.
what? You know what? How about you edit?
Listen, the audio was perfect.
Actually, you know
for
what? No,
last
you
week.
can't
It
even
was
get your
perfect.
Audacity right, so no, you're not allowed to edit.
Nothing
Come
bad
out
at
even
all happened
worse.
last week.
You would probably edit in like F-bombs and everything.
Edit them in? That's a great idea.
Edit in stained jokes. There, you happy? There's your editing the dong noise, alright? There it is again, alright? Now get off my back, you fat
So
Oh,
not that anyone asks, but I'll tell you what games I played this week.
No one
I
cares.
was going to ask.
Doubt. Well, even though RTDL team is over, I still, of course, use it as my Bible.
Crutch.
Okay,
Oh,
that works. Crutch.
Your team kind of sucked.
dang.
I know. Team did suck. So right away, High Road and Kingsman jumped out of the
Didn't
gate
you
with
come in
17
second?
achievements. What the heck? Kenny, stop it.
Hi. No, you stop
We
it.
came in first, okay? Don't.
Okay.
Nothing else happened.
Okay.
Good.
Nate, can you back that up?
Yeah, he did not come in first.
If you're not first, you're last.
Damn it. So I'll talk about a few games that I played. Actually, first I wanted to talk about a game called Doom and Destiny, which, if you take the initials, it's D&D. I think I've talked about this on the show before, but it's like an old school RPG, turn-based RPG with, it's just all references to old video games and old RPGs, Final Fantasy and Zelda and everything. Something happened to me that was similar to the story that you were just telling, Kenny. I'm playing at work on my Surface, and you could literally save the game at any time. But I had not saved in a while, and I heard footsteps. I thought my boss was coming, so I quickly shut the top of the Surface. And when I turned it back on, it went into sleep mode, and it turned off the game. And it usually doesn't do that. So I lost my progress there. Luckily, I had no story progress. I was just grinding out levels, so I just had to do that over again, and eventually got the achievement I was going for.
That could arguably be worse depending upon how long you've been grinding.
Yeah, but it's mindless, so that's at least something. So then, the other day I was playing Thimbleweed Parkerino.
Oh, I need to get back to that.
With a guide?
Yes, of course.
I'm going to say yes. Oh. Oh, no, not me. No, not me.
Oh.
Hypocrite.
Definitely not. Not using the Doom and Destiny walkthrough on TV either. Definitely not. So, this, for some reason, once again, the Surface just turned off, and I hadn't saved it in a while.
I know how that is.
Luckily, Thimbleweed Park has an autosave feature whenever you go into a new room. So, nothing was lost. Just went right back to the autosave and did a manual save. So, every game needs this.
Yes.
Yes.
It was really nice to have that there.
So your Surface just randomly turns off during recording, randomly turns off during Doom and Destiny. Why do you still have this thing?
I'm trying to raise Patreon money here. Be quiet.
Oh, my bad.
And you invite me on the show? Yeah, you got no hopes of that.
You think people are just turning off the show because you're on it? Okay,
maybe.
That sounds about right. Yeah, so I'm still working on Thimbleweed Park. I got the achievement for beating the game on easy, and that game needs 2 playthroughs. There's one for whatever the opposite of easy is.
Hard?
Hard? Okay.
Hard?
I don't
Yeah.
know if it's called hard mode. It's called something
Difficult?
else. Advanced, maybe. Basically, it's
Legendary?
the same puzzles, but more steps involved.
Have you read 100
sounds
books
harder.
and done the 100 voicemails?
I have not. I have save slots there in case I need a streak preserver or if they show up on RTDL. But yes, I'll probably do those last. I plan on actually reading them and not just going through them. I have done some phone calls. They're pretty funny. If you call Edna, that's a funny one. If you call,
Edna mode.
There's a phone book. And so what she's talking about is if you kickstarted the game, there was a certain tier and you could actually appear in the game. You could record a voicemail for the telephone calls in the game. So your actual voice was in the game. And you could write a little snippet for the books in the game as well. So those are really cool Kickstarter ideas. And that's what she's talking about. Did you do any of that?
I started to read the books and got bored and distracted and then just continued on with the game.
Okay.
There was no
That
pictures.
sounds like you. I wanted to read them because there's a disclaimer saying what's in these books is not rated by the ESRB. And it's like, oh, maybe there's something good in there. So I do want to read them at some point. My hardest achievement by ratio came up was Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove, called Lord of the HFZ. And that's for reaching the end of the hyperfunk zone.
That makes sense.
And out of almost 1,300 people at the game, less than 30 people have this achievement. And Prue and Rocker and Michelle and her brother and I have tried this numerous times. So once it showed up on RTDL, I went to good old buddy Odorless Furball, who has this achievement, and I said, dude, can you help out? He's like, yeah, it's easy. I'm like, it's easy? Okay. Sure. He's like, yeah, I did it 2 players with my son, but he did it local, not knowing what a glitch fest this is online. So we started playing, and we got to the hyperfunk zone, And on our first try, we got it done.
Wow.
So
Woo.
apparently you have to hold down A and get a certain amount of speed, and if you let go of A, you kind of come back and not in the shadows anymore, and you try to pick up the timer things. But with 4 people there, if one person messes up, they die, and you can bring them back with a revive. And well, anyway, he got it, helped us get it. As it stands now, 29 people have this achievement, and it sits at a 6.64 ratio.
Oh, that's
So
hot.
it's a good one.
Nice.
And what else happened? Last night, we did a Titanfall Xbox 360 session.
Oh.
You guys are still doing those?
Well,
Apparently.
RTDL rules all. Remember.
Of course.
So,
Oh, yeah, my bad.
the achievement came up called Captured Everything to win 50 hardpoint matches. So, and Doughboy actually had made a calendar with the Titanfall on Mondays, so it actually worked out perfectly. Doughboy was there. Michelle was there. What the Fug was there. Triple Triad 777 was there. So we had enough people to play. 6 people, so the matches loaded in quicker that way. And Fug only made us scream at him like 3 or 4 times, so it was a successful session. Yeah, if you haven't played with Fug, oof. It's like, Fug, your robot just killed us. Oh, sorry, guys.
I can see that.
And I'm like, southeast on the map, where's that? And like, the compass says southeast. Oh. So everyone stuck around for a few hours, and we actually got that done. And that's a 3.34 ratio. And while that was going on the 360...
You were watching Sweaty Men?
Oh, no. I was playing Bloodstained, but not that Bloodstained. I was playing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Which is
that
it's a Castlevania-esque 8-bit, 16-bit graphic.
the one you kickstarted that's now on Game Pass?
It's not that one. It's
That's Curse of the Moon.
Oh, okay.
Now, one of them's Curse of the Moon, and the other is,
Twilight
Or was it
Princess.
Ritual of the
Kickstarter
Night?
bonus of the
Yeah,
Moon.
Ritual of the Night. That's it. You got it. I played Curse of
that was
the Moon.
a total shot in the dark, and I got it.
Curse
over
of the
the
Moon
olds.
was, I want to say it was a pre-order bonus if you kickstarted it. And it was also Games with Gold a couple months ago. So this game has some crazy inflated ratios. So when I last played it, I had gotten up to stage 4 out of 8. So last night I went from stage 5 all the way through beating the game. Finishing stage 6, 7, and 8 are rare achievements. That tells you
It's
how
hard.
inflated this is. No, it's not hard. You can play on casual, and you can put on infinite lives, and it's really easy.
That's helpful.
You might die a few times, and you start right in the room that you died. So the achievement I was going for is called Blade Gleaming at Sunrise. It's for adventuring with your allies and seeing the normal ending. And apparently, in the first few levels, you can either recruit allies or sacrifice them. And I guess I did the correct thing, because I had done that months ago. So I beat the game, and that achievement popped for me. So that one is a 3.92 ratio just for beating the game and seeing the normal ending. 1,400 gamers have it out of 21,000. So thank you, Games with Gold, and thank you, Inflated Ratios. And so I have my 3 highest ratio achievements done for RTDL, and most of the 1 ratio stuff is, of course, long campaigns.
That's what she said.
That's what?
What?
There's a guide for that. Okay.
Gosh.
I can't compete with you, pTart. I cannot compete with this derailing competition. Hey, Sarah, you missed my full frontal nudity. Not
darn.
full frontal, topless.
Wouldn't say you missed it.
I was going to say, if it was full frontal, I'm really glad it
It wasn't full
froze
frontal,
and I didn't
just
see nothing.
most.
So it was a chest pick, you would say?
Oh.
Maybe.
A little lower than the chest.
A little lower.
A chest pick? You mean like Gears of Pop Gold chess?
Yeah, there we
still
go. That was a
recording
great
this?
segue. I'm proud of you.
Nailed it. This guy.
Your mind is back.
But, Sarah, you want to talk
Yes.
about your gold chests?
Well, as someone pointed out to me, they were lopsided.
Oh, interesting.
It's very rare that they're the same size.
It's your baby's first words?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to actually have 4 gold chests at one time. It was actually quite surprising. I just sat there and played it while I was at the doctor today. So thank you, waiting room. Apparently, I get a good chest when I go there.
She's waiting for someone to say something there.
No, I was actually not. And say Nate's good with stats and stuff. Maybe he should talk about the nerfing.
Oh, the nerfing.
Let's hear.
Yeah, let me, you can edit this bit out while I pull up the phone here. Hey, look at that. Gears Pop's already open. Weird.
Who would have thunk it? It's not like you play during the show or anything. No one would do that.
I would not have
Sarah's not over there playing Torchlight. I'm not playing Idle Champions.
Not have done a coin.
If you look at my status, I am not playing Torchlight.
I saw you looking up at your TV, and there were some lights in the background changing, so.
All right, so, yes, Gears Pop 1.3 balance changes. They have gone and they have ruined Old Man Marcus even more. As if you didn't think it was possible.
How do you even make him even worse? Like, leave him alone. He's already dead.
Well, let me tell you. You take away 15% of his health and 11% of his damage, and you increase his attack speed from 0.7 seconds to 1 second. That's a good start.
Goodness gracious.
Then you go and you take the Savage Grenadier, who had a lot of health.
He was my boy. He was my boy.
It's Grenadier. Come on now.
He was a good little tank. I mean, he could take a little bit of damage and he'd throw out a couple grenades. Well, now he takes next to no damage. He dies very quickly because they nerfed him 37% of his health, but they did increase the damage by 29%. So if you get a grenade off, it's going to do a lot more damage.
So now he's a glass cannon.
Yeah, and then they've taken Shepherds, and they took Shepherds and they cut their health by 40%.
I thought they were dying really fast. I didn't read these, obviously.
They increased the attack speed on them. So now Shepherds can be taken out very quickly. So, for instance, I went up against a Locust drone, just a single one, and he took out both of my snub soldiers and 3 of my Shepherds and suffered minimal damage from it. So that's 1 unit took out 5 units, and it's ridiculous.
Yep, that sounds about right. Didn't they nerfed the snubs too, right? Or are you getting to that? Sorry.
I'm just kind of going through the most egregious. Yeah, it looks like snub soldiers were also decreased. They had their health dropped by 40%. Now, I noticed that the wretches that I haven't seen used solo, their speed has gone from 7 to 10. So they're much zippier now.
Wow.
So now when you're doing an E-hole or just your wretches, and I'm guessing this would also work for what's-her-face, that she's kind of like the...
Winter Kate?
No, not Winter Kate.
It starts with an M. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have her, but I don't remember her name. Let me check here on my phone. Oh look, Gears Pop's already there. Oh no, now it's loading.
Mira.
Everyone
I think it's
Mira.
Miralax.
Yes.
I'm going to say Mira.
Is it Miralax?
No, it's not Miralax. That's an old. Only old to get that. I believe it's Mira. In either case, she is the Clash Royale witch, basically. So she stands back, she summons wretches, and the wretches run down the field. Yeah, those things sucked. So they've made a lot of changes to decrease those things. They have attempted to bring up the health of boomers and butchers and basically
candlestick makers,
the beefier meat shields. They've increased their health, but I still don't see them being used much. Kate Diaz has gone, her health is now up by 54%. So that would explain.
She's so good now.
That would explain
good.
why I'm seeing her being used a lot more. She's kind of running through. Lancer Gear, who's already pretty weak, they dropped his health by 47%.
Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah. And the long shot, they've dropped the health by 38% and the damage by 19%, which is great.
Goodness.
I mean, I was always using an ink on them. Anytime I saw them, it was like, boom, ink in the back, kill them. And now it's even easier, apparently. So that's good.
I agree with the long shot nerf.
I do too. They were obnoxious.
Yes.
Well, they've also taken the ink grenade and they've dropped that as well. So it went from 40 DPS damage per tick, so DPT. It went from 40 down to 27. So
what the
they've
crap?
almost cut that in half. That's ridiculous. They've also taken the grinder and they've reduced its range by 1. So that's also awesome.
It's just just nerf everything,
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
They did increase some things. So some things got better. Like I said, the boomer is a little bit better, but nobody uses the boomer. Drone division. So this is 2 locust drones for 8 cost. It used to be 9. They dumped it down to 8 now. So they've savings of 1.
Better.
and they have, let's see, what have they done? Made equivalent to a locust drone of the same level. So up from 2 levels below. So now the drones that are in that division are a little bit better as well. The Hammer of Dawn, they decreased by 6%. They needed to nerf that even more because it's still OP.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad nerf.
Yeah. So not a whole lot of things getting better. Unless you're looking at their bottom line and their expectation for profit. As the meta changes and things get better, of course, people are going to be spending their coin or, trying to bring up the new thing that's best that they don't have. So
apparently,
welcome to mobile gaming.
Apparently, the hot deck tech right now is the new drone division. That seems to be what everybody is super gung ho about.
That's what I'm hearing.
I tried it and I wasn't terribly thrilled, but I have been crushing face with the Nasher Gang Kate combo, and that has been fun.
It's funny you said that because I was thinking about that. My Nasher Gang is still doing really well. I've noticed a lot of people are catching on to the fact that they can stop the Nasher Gang by dropping an E-hole behind it. So the Nasher Gang will basically turn around and start shooting that instead of shooting the turret that they're supposed to be going after. And then they can basically just stop all your momentum and really cut the damage that you're doing down to nothing. So I've been thinking about ways that I can make that charge faster. And, Kate, since she doesn't care about other units, she's a great way. Mm-hmm. She's a great way to just attack just the turret. I was tempted to try that, so I'm glad to hear that there's something to that.
Yeah, so I wait till I have 10 energy and pretty much drop them together, and it has just been devastating. I take out a turret almost every single time.
Now, are you pairing that with an E-hole or something?
No, I just have the 2 run together and make sure the runway is fairly clear.
I need to start doing that. And that makes sense, especially with Kate. Her being faster and basically now being a tank with a health increase.
Mm-hmm.
She just absorbs all the damage, and the Nasher Gang comes behind and just kills everything. I can definitely see that working.
Yeah, I actually dropped Nasher first and then dropped Kate in right afterward, but by the time they get to the turret, Kate is slightly ahead of the Nashers.
I've been seeing, was it Anya? I've been seeing a lot more Anya just being dropped in the back because she doesn't seem to ever move up from cover. She's always in the back. And I think her boost is the entire playfield, right? She buffs everybody on their side, right?
I just thought she prevented you from doing something. I don't know her very well.
Okay.
I don't know either.
I'm going to have to read up on that. Because, I've seen her be used a lot more lately. So I guess I need to pay more attention to that. But I treat her the same way as I treat a sniper. As soon as I see her in the back, I just drop an ink grenade, and that takes care of most of her health.
Yeah, it's... This game, ever since that first initial nerf, I have not been able to just get that swing back. When the first game, when the game first came out, had my deck, it worked really well, I was able to win. I was probably at an 80% win rate. I was doing well with it. And then the nerfs hit, and now I am probably at a 20%, to the point where it's just I just don't even want to play. I just can't get it. I mostly just do hordes now.
Well, I saw Mattism say that he's going to maybe push for gold again. So, I don't know. It got me to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to stop just leveling down and coming back up, and I'm just going to see how far I can get with an honest push right now, because the meta has changed. So people, things people are relying upon have changed, and maybe they haven't had time to build up, to figure out what they want to do, and then sink the coin into it. So maybe now's the time to just make a real quick dash for gold, see if I can get lucky. But I took some time off because I wanted to get that silver reward. So I have not been boosting my pins for like 2 weeks. So that's a big deficit to overcome with just skill. So I don't know. I'll try it.
It's difficult.
So Sarah and Nate,
what did I do now? Yes.
Are there any achievements you guys are working towards in this game?
All of them.
Seriously, Pop?
Always.
Well, what do you guys have left?
I have to get to gold still. I have not been lucky enough to get to the gold. But like Nate, I'm going to see if I can give it a try right now while the meta is still trying to figure out like what the best deck tech is. And I mean, I just kind of hit a wall. Like before this recent update, I kind of was really struggling to even play. But honestly, I kind of like these nerfs and how it's kind of like changing things up. So maybe I actually have a chance to get to gold. Then I guess still got to get the 2 million coins, level 20, max a pin, and seriously pop.
Yeah, so all the super grindy ones.
Yeah, all the really grindy ones are things I'm still kind of eyeing. Like, I'm probably never going to get to level 20. I can live with that. I'm probably never going to get a pin to max level. I can live with that. But the ones that I know I can get are the power trip for spending the power. It just takes time. Seriously pop. That is dependent upon getting to gold. Like, if I can't get to gold, then I can't get seriously pop. So my goal right now is just get to gold, because that's the one that's like skill based at this point. And if I can get to gold, then I can eventually whittle away seriously pop and all the other things that are just grindy, like coins and the horde waves.
Exactly.
Not too worried about those.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just want to get it done and over with one time to be like, okay, check, it's off my list.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be easier as people drop off, or if it's just going to be, maybe it's based on a percentage of the population, or I don't know really how they're gating this. So, I think it's best to get in while you can before, it's years where people just have this establishment that you just can't get past, without spending money. So yeah.
Yeah. If you have the opportunity to get it, you definitely want to get it.
Yeah, I'm kind of kicking myself for not pushing really hard for that first season. Mm-hmm. So.
See, personally, I don't ever see me getting seriously pop, because I don't think I'm ever going to be in a position where I can get the gold league. I don't love the game enough to really just want to sit there and push and grind out and get all that. For me, I'm just trying to get like the grinding achievements I'll pop in every so often, do the horde waves and stuff like that, 2 million coins. Stuff where it's like, if I log in once a day and I get a bit here and a bit there, I'll eventually get it. But other than that, I honestly don't see me ever having this completion. Unless I hit the lottery and can dump like $1 million in the game.
Yeah, and I refuse to put any money in the game, which is clearly stalled me also getting to gold, but I just can't bite the bullet, especially with all the rapid changes they're making in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I was close, I would maybe consider putting $5 in. Like, if that's even going to make a dent, I don't know. But yeah, I want to see how far I can go up this season. And if I get within striking distance, maybe I'll put $5 in just to make sure I get to gold. But like I said, I don't know if $5 is going to cut it.
So, question on that: Do you guys buy games?
I think I buy games.
You mean with actual currency? Like actual money?
With money. Cash, dollars, moolah.
Very rarely. I have funded my gaming habits almost exclusively through Bing rewards.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that's actually kind of what I do. So this makes a little bit more sense for you then. But Nate, and this actually is for you as well, Sarah, why is it that you don't want to put any money into the game when it's something you enjoy. You've had hundreds of hours and possibly over its lifetime, thousands or tens of thousands of hours into it, but you're willing to buy games that's just going to sit in your backlog. That seems odd to me that you'll go, oh, this game's on sale. I'll give $5 for this, and it sits in your backlog for a year. But you won't go, I'll help the developer out. Here's $5.
You want to help this developer?
Yeah. See, yes, I do recognize that there's definitely some hypocrisy in the way you present it. But for me, the reason I don't put money into free games is because the reason they're offering for free is because they want you to do microtransactions. And I have such a hard time with the microtransactions. Like, it just, I mean, look at how
okay.
Look at the whales on Gears Pop. I mean, it's just, where does it end?
Yeah, that's the problem with me.
Yeah.
Is, once I start, like, that just opens the gates. Yeah, like well, if I just spend another $5, I'll get the next batch of stuff. That's why I have a hard time even spending the free in-game currency. So, like, I'll play these games and they'll give away crystals. And like, I don't want to spend the crystals because once I spend the crystals, I get used to spending the crystals. And now I only get 15 of those a day or however many it is for doing the 3 dailies.
Okay.
So I hate that. I hate that time gating or that, the gating that they put into it. So I'm saving all of my crystals until I can buy like that stupid coin package that is basically 2 million. It's like 1.6 or something, 1.3.
Yeah, I'm saving for that as well. It's like 4,250 crystals. I kind of wish I wouldn't have spent 3 500s on the lower one because I finally did the math, and the value is a lot better on the big one.
Yeah, the value is a lot better if you wait
sure.
to the end. So I was going to buy all the coins and then use the coins to upgrade, but also use the coins to buy pins and upgrade. That was kind of my plan, and also to wait and let everybody else do the math. And figure out the optimal spending path for those crystals. But yeah, so my problem is that I know me, and I know that once I open that door, it is very tempting to keep throwing money at it. So I just don't even trust myself to do that. So I don't. Yeah,
it's a slippery slope for sure.
So you guys don't have self-control. Got it. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Yes.
I have enough self-control to stop that first purchase. Once I make that first purchase, then it's gone.
Okay. I can understand that. I was just wondering because when it's a free game and it's something I enjoy, I personally don't have any problems with putting money into the game. Some games, I guess, it is a little bit, or it could be way more egregious putting money into it, and the microtransactions, the way they just try to get you sucked into it and make it basically to where you have to. And this comes from, Clash of Clans. I've put money into that, and that is probably the most egregious one on the planet when it comes to this model.
I mean, if I really enjoyed a game, and it would help me out a little bit, sure. I think I put $5 into Clash of Clans. I definitely didn't do it in Royale. But I played Clans for about a year. So that kind of made sense. And then, I would put money towards, things that make the game more fun. So do I want to buy currency? Not really. But do I want to get that cool skin or do I want to get that cool character? Well, if it's something that I'm really enjoying, then I will throw money at it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and my issue with the Gears Pop one is it's that whole loot box thing. You don't know what you're going to get. You may end up getting a hot pile of garbage, which, again, may tempt you to put in another $5 because you think, oh, I might get something better. And it's just, I just do not want to open that door. And, so I just go with a firm rule of I'm not putting money in.
You don't want to open Pandora's box?
Yes.
To go along with Golden Chest? Okay.
Yes, precisely. Yep.
Okay.
Totally understand.
I mean, I know people enjoy admiring my golden chest, but
but not Pandora's box. I understand. I totally get it. You don't want to admire that.
So let's say you.
No, I think what Sarah's saying is she doesn't want to reward them for their shady practices. Not to put words in your mouth, but that's what it sounds like.
I can understand that. And I can't fault you for that. I mean, that makes sense. I don't blame you.
And the people we know that seem to be spending the most money are the completionist types that want to actually finish it or get as many achievements as they can in a faster time frame.
Yeah. Or
I
ones
guess-
that are just addicted to the game.
Yeah, see, I guess I like, if I were to purchase something, I'd know this is it. Like, I'm purchasing this product and only this product, not this. I'm not buying a random chance to get something.
Exactly.
I guess I would, if I'm going to spend my
Makes
money,
sense.
to be like, okay, I want to buy specifically this. Like, if I were to buy anything in Gears Pop, I'd probably be boring and just buy crystals because I know what they're going to do. And
Right.
I'm buying this set amount.
Okay. Well, speaking of buying things, Nate, you buying anything this week?
Man, you are killing
Rough.
it with these segues.
I was not
Yes.
done talking about Gears Pop yet.
Oh,
Elle, what do you have to say about Gears Pop?
Whoop,
I was
almost
going
had
to
a
bring.
second one.
I was going to bring up the TA article that was going around the Discord today.
Oh yeah, the 11 years.
What is it?
Yeah. Did you look at that?
I did.
I did not.
That someone did the math, and it would take 11 years of playing without putting money in, or
What?
$6,000.
11 years of 2 hours a day playing.
How? How?
And
What? Okay.
Well, they show their math. They do the work.
Yeah,
They
the
show
math-
their work.
The math is fairly legit. Like it honestly kind of broke my spirit after I read that article because I'm
You're
like,
breaking my
Yeah.
spirit right now. Jeez.
Well, that's if you want the completion. You already said you don't want the completion, so it's
All
not
right,
going to take
yeah,
you. It'll only
definitely
take
not
you
getting
6
it.
years.
Jesus.
Mhm.
do you think it's the type of game that they could introduce, like the equivalent of an XP multiplier or something to speed up the process?
They
Or
sure
they-
could.
Or would they have to
They've
lower
got
the
it-
requirements?
Yeah, they've got to change something because I mean, you can throw an absurd amount of money in that game and still not finish it.
Do you think they care
No,
that you can't get all the achievements? No, of course they don't care.
but my
Supercell
issue
was
is
making like $30 million a day. They don't care.
my
Supercell's the
issue-
guys that did Clash.
But my issue is, Seriously Pop should be the last achievement you unlock. And
I
that one's
agree.
actually somewhat attainable for free-to-play players. And
Yeah.
that's where I have a huge issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel like they should change something to make those achievements attainable. Now, that might be changing the achievement to make it attainable. So, like, instead of level 20, it's level 15. Because I've seen people that, have gotten to 15 without spending too much money. Or something like that. Make it doable where you don't have to take 11 years or, what was the number? Like $3,700?
I think it's like 6,700.
So $6,700
Goodness gracious.
to just get it done.
That is so much money. Oh my gosh.
There
Yeah,
was a comma and a period in that number. That's all I know.
So now what do you think about that statement, throwing them a few bucks there, Canny Brew?
Yeah, I'm starting to walk that one back. Yeah. See, that honestly is egregious at that point. And, mobile games are supposed to be the kind of thing where you play them, here and there a couple minutes a day, a couple minutes, or maybe like an hour or two a day. But there really should be some sort of end game that's, feasibly obtainable. Having to go through and play for 11 years before you finally see that end game.
All right, I got more
That's
questions.
insane. Especially when you know the fact that in a year from now, all of the ceilings are going to be raised. You're going to have higher pin levels, higher player levels. So that's only what it is now.
So
Yeah,
Kenny,
and they raised the requirement for gold this month, too.
I was just about to say they'll probably raise the COG levels and add new arenas because once it gets to a point where almost everyone has 3,000 COGs, well, those leagues are nothing. You need to raise them so you could see who the actual pros are.
And they got to come up with new pins so people can spend more money on the game.
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely. There's always going to be new characters being added.
I mean, they can just continue to do this nerf juggling act, where they nerf something and then they raise the stat of something and they change the meta and then they nerf that thing. And, I think it's strategic.
Welcome to every competitive game ever.
All right, let's have a quick
This
question.
is how it is in card games. This is how it is in mobile games.
What is your question, Elle?
So, you guys, what was the game that you played? Clash of Clans or Clash Royale?
Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. Yeah.
All right. So, if you're playing those and not going for achievements, what is the end game there? Is there their own system of achievements, or is there just you're having fun with it and beating people? Like, what's the end game there?
Well, for me, with Clash of Clans, I've played since the very beginning. I downloaded the game the very first month that it came out, and at this point, it's almost just like a daily routine. Like, I don't even remember the last time I've raided. I just kind of log on and collect and level something up when I'm able to.
Well, what's the purpose? What's the thrill of the game? The same type of game?
Just to say, looky how far I am in the game. And like every year, the game has always done like a small Christmas event where a Christmas tree pops up in your base, in your village. And I have like one Christmas tree from each year. So now it's kind of just like a OCD, I've got to have it all kind of a habit. And yeah, I just play it and have it on my phone just to have it. It feels weird and kind of wrong at this point to delete it from my phone because it's been on there for so long.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no time.
Stockholm syndrome.
Do you understand what I'm asking, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
So there were no achievements, so I stopped playing because there were no achievements. And I just got tired of it. And I also got tired of them changing things around. And
Well, you enjoyed it for a time, clearly.
I did because I was
sure.
playing in a clan with other people, and we were doing clan war. And that was fun. And I got out of Clash Royale within the first few weeks. I played it for a little bit, and then I bounced off of it because I was just like, no, this is going to, I don't like the way certain metas were changing, which is just exactly what's happening here. Like they put out this meta, they change things. But I think the difference is they made it possible to grief in Clash Royale, and you could send messages. So people would be like, good game, good game, good game. And
the emotes are obnoxious.
They don't really mean good game. Good game doesn't mean good game.
No, you just destroyed me. You just completely, totally obliterated me because you're a freaking whale and you're so many levels ahead of me. GG, F you.
So yeah, that kind of drove me to the point where I wanted to smash my phone, and I said, you know what? It's cheaper just to uninstall this. So I uninstalled, and I haven't gone back to Clash Royale. My buddy keeps asking me to come back all the time, and I'm just like, good game, good game. So I don't go back to it.
Yeah, I ditched Pokemon Go after a few months.
No, Pokemon Go still, I play that daily. I love Pokemon. That would be a game that's also on my phone for all ages.
Yeah, same with my brother-in-law. He is still going strong.
But yeah, what am I buying?
Yeah, what you buying?
I'm probably not going to buy anything right now.
I don't blame you.
If people haven't, because I got to save all my money for this Gears Pop, right? They need to make their money.
Exactly.
So one thing I would recommend people to check out if they're into turn-based RPGs is Battle Chasers Night War. This thing is really pretty and it's really well done, and it is $7.49 down from $30. 1,000 gamer score, 2,928 TA. It's about 60 to 80 hours long. It has an achievement for starting New Game Plus and for completing New Game Plus. And then there are achievements for completing a dungeon on the most difficult level and then completing all the dungeons on the most difficult level. So I don't believe that the game itself has a difficulty. It's just these dungeons have kind of like the Division. You can go in and you can set up, okay, well, what version of this dungeon am I going to do? So the solution basically says, go in, complete the dungeon at whatever level you can, and then at the end of the game, before you beat the game, go back and do all the dungeons, and you should be able to just roll them. You shouldn't have a problem with that. I dove this game because of our TDL, and I was enjoying it. There's a lot of depth to it, so I think it does earn that 60 to 80 hours. So if this is your type of game, this is a great price for this game.
Yes. The game does look pretty.
Yeah. And then I was looking at, it's not on sale, but I believe that it is of value, there's value to it, the Trine collection. So Trine 4 just released, I think, today. And it itself, Trine 4, is $30. But they also released the Trine collection. And that contains Trine 3, 2, 1, and 4. They're all separate games, so they each have 1,000 gamer score to be had. And they are remasters of the other games. Now, the only game that was available to Xbox was Trine 2 on the 360. But now, if you get this collection, it costs $50. So Trine 4 by itself is $30. All 4 of them together is $20 more. So it seems like a good deal. But I can't imagine them not doing this collection later on, and hopefully for a sale price. So when I will not be buying right now, but in the future, I'm definitely keeping my eye on that. As it stands today, it's 4,000 gamer score for all 4 games, and it's 4,987 TA. That will obviously change.
That'll go up.
Yeah, I think Trine 2, it's either Trine 2 or Trine 3 is still at 1,000 TA. So I don't think anyone's touched it. So
Trine 2
you
was
might want
fun.
to check that out. Yeah.
It's online multiplayer, so that's good. Online co-op.
On the 360. So
Yes.
yeah, I picked up Trine 2 on a sale a while ago, and like I said, I'm definitely interested in the Trine collection, but not right now. And then since our sales were kind of lackluster this week, I just wanted to point out all the great games that I want to pick up, but maybe not for full price. So ones that I'm going to be keeping an eye on very shortly. Indivisible for $40 is a Metroidvania RPG turn-based combat.
Of course, it's Metroidvania.
hybrid.
Geez, how many
Looks
genres is
fantastic.
that thing in? Is it
I don't
puzzle,
know.
card collectibles?
I think it might
stealth?
also be
Hang on,
car,
what game
car
was
combat.
this?
Vehicular
Vehicular
combat.
combat is always the correct answer.
Yeah,
Equestrian
and
wasting.
the vehicle is actually a bull, so it's actually bull riding as well.
What game was this
sports-
again?
This is Indivisible. It's
Okay.
very pretty looking.
That's what the guy from Princess Bride
Hey.
says. Indivisible.
So I will be picking this up at some point. Maybe if I get really weak and I just buy it because it does look good and it's Metroidvania. So, that's my weakness. Otherwise, I'm going to wait for a sale and get this one then. Ukulele and the Impossible Lair for $30. I can wait for that to drop. A Knight's Quest, which is basically, people are calling it the Xbox's Zelda. I know we had talked about that like 2 weeks ago. Like, one of the things I want to do is go through and play Zelda likes on Xbox. And this thing looks really good. It is $25 and I'm going to wait for reviews. That's a price that I could bite on, but I want to hear some reviews from people I know. And then of course, the game that we all wanted and we all were clamoring for and we took to Twitter to demand it, Ghostbusters Remastered, $30. The game that no one asked for, but it looks great. But I need that price to drop.
I'm sure that will drop, especially with Black Friday coming up.
Yep. Can't wait to pick that one up.
Yep. Anybody else? And like I said, the sales weren't great. Did you guys see anything?
How about you, Sarah?
So yeah, the sales were actually awful. Like, absolutely dreadful. Usually I can find like 3 or 4 items, but this week is, but the one that I really do like, that is on sale is Lost Odyssey. This is definitely a FuFu game. It's a JRPG.
It is definitely a FuFu game.
Yep, it's turn-based, JRPG, and Elle told us some fact that the music is done by the same person as Final Fantasy VII. Is that correct, Elle?
That is a fun fact.
Okay. So, yes, it's an amazing game. I really, really enjoyed it. It is a very long game, but very good. And yeah, it was. But you should have it already because it was a game with gold. But if you don't, it is $6.24. The other one I was kind of looking at was Windscape because I know Corey had talked about it. And that kind of, when he talked about it, kind of seemed up my alley, like a kind of like a light RPG, not like
Yes.
that. So that one piqued my interest, but I believe it's down to $19.99, which is still too much for me.
Too much.
Yeah,
all honesty.
I only have like $3.74 in my Bing account right now, so yeah, that one's not happening.
Windscape was pretty cool. From $19, I would not get that.
Okay.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Mm-hmm. And the other one that I was thinking about was, I think it was Moose Man, just because it's super cheap and an easy.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this week's sales, and I'm just shocked that there's not a Gnome's Garden on sale this week.
Well, there actually kind of is. There is an 8-floor game. I don't know if it's on sale, but I know they just released a new one, I think today.
Yeah, the whole collection was on sale last week, but it seems to have ended as of today.
Well, actually, it might be Friday. I think they're coming out with a new game, so
okay.
Who knows? Maybe it'll be on sale then.
So I do see one game that was amazing, and Crandy from Z to Z had glowing reviews on. That's on sale.
Okay.
Toro.
Mm-hmm.
It is $1.49.
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Is that $1.49 too many?
From what I've heard, it sounds like it.
A lot of people would say yes.
Okay.
I have not heard. I've only heard horrible things about this game.
I've heard it's so bad it's good, but I've also heard that it's so bad that it's good that it's bad.
What?
Yeah.
Yes. If you just look at the screenshots, it looks horrendous.
No, but that being said, I own it, and I will play it one
Go
day.
for it.
Just for the giggles.
It's an Xbox One game, and it honestly looks like an N64 GameCube type game. Like, it just... Honestly, I may buy this just because I want to try it and see how bad it honestly is. And at $1.49, I don't know if you can actually go wrong. Like you say, you can really go wrong.
Now, I think something we should mention, since Sarah, you did mention that the way you fund your gaming habit is through Bing and Bing Rewards and MS Rewards, is that there is a really good Game Pass reward going on right now. It's like, what was it worth? 15? Is it worth 15,000? Is that true?
15,000.
Are you talking about the Operation Moon Cosmic?
Yes.
Oh, 1,500.
Yes. Is it 1,500? Okay.
1,500, but you get double searches for a while, which is
double searches for a while.
Yes.
So that helps. So that is a quest on the Game Pass app, and it requires 3 out of 4 weeks completing something. I think that's searches, and I think that's completing the weekly challenges.
Oh, I do remember seeing
as part of the Game Pass. So you need to start that now if you haven't already, or else you'll lock yourself out of being able to get that. So hopefully you guys are keeping up with that. I think Smitty mentioned it in the Discord. Maybe we'll mention it again. That people really need to keep on top of that, especially now that the first week is already gone. You basically have to complete all 3 weeks now to get that done. So I want to pay attention.
Yeah, you can complete searches though, right?
So I think there's like 8 subquests for this, and part of it is completing 20 Bing searches a week. Not difficult.
That's
to do it.
Easy.
Then there's completing 3 weekly challenges, which those always have 3 subquests. And most times they're things like launching the Bing Rewards app, or launching the Game Pass Rewards app, or performing 20 searches, or getting an achievement. It's whatever. It changes, right? But you have to get 3 of those in the month. So you want to get on top of that. Yeah. And then I think there was a simple one for getting 1 achievement. So yeah. So you've probably already completed a lot of these things. Go check that out. Get it checked off. You're going to want to be launching the rewards app on your mobile device as well, because I think that's one of the sub challenges, and that's one of those things you have to do over and over. So go check it out, get some points, and buy some games.
Yeah.
You can ask me what I want.
I was going to ask
what
you
you really want.
I have a feeling I know what you want, but what you want?
I don't remember anymore. I was going to recommend Brutal Legend for $5 for anyone who doesn't have that for any reason.
That would be me.
Really? You guys like rock music.
I have it, and I've never played it.
I know.
It was given to me, and
Penny.
the disc is literally sitting right
Just
over there.
Start it.
Is this a game where you ride around on a guitar and shoot things?
No, that's
Okay.
air guitar.
You don't ride around on a guitar. You do shoot things, sort of.
You're Jack Black, and you're going around doing Jack Black things.
The humor is amazing. The fighting is fun.
Double Fine. We should say it's Double Fine.
Oh,
It is
okay.
Double
I do.
Fine.
Yeah, okay, that piques my interest. I do love Double Fine.
There are some weird RTS segments, but other than that, it's pretty fun. I was going to mention something else. Our good friends Harmonix made this game Rock Band 4.
Never heard of it.
And believe
No.
it or not, it is approaching its 4th anniversary already.
It's been 4 years. Jeez.
And because of that, they are offering 40% off deal,
Okay.
which is the price you should have gotten it for, Kenny.
Dude, let's not bring that story back up.
Available in our archives, Kenny tells a story about how his quote-unquote nephews accidentally bought the game at full price.
Yes, because everyone, well, it wasn't nephews, it was friends. And
All
obviously, because everyone,
Friends.
when they get the drums, they want to go and just sit there and just bang on the effing things. And when the stupid start menu pops up, it's just like, dude, would you want to buy Rivals or whatever the hell it is? Piece of shit.
All right, Kenny,
You didn't
calm
dispute
down.
it, did you?
Calm down, Kenny.
Where's
No,
my
I
controller?
can-
I need to throw something.
No, I can empathize.
Oh my god,
Like,
I smashed it.
like, so when my friends get really drunk, they like to come over and play Rock Band. They get drunk at my house, for the record. They don't like get drunk and then drive to my house. But
We're not judging. Did you make them sandwiches?
sometimes I have. I usually make
Gotta help them
brownies
out.
though,
What kind of brownies?
Brownies, eh?
Ah.
with homemade peanut butter frosting.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
So the other thing I was going to mention is that Rock Band offered a 4-pack of free songs for the
Free?
anniversary. It's all bands you've never heard of, but there are 4 free songs.
Who are they?
Yeah?
Go download them.
You didn't let me finish my story.
You were telling a story?
I thought you were done.
I don't cut people off when they talk. Sorry, Sarah H. Go ahead.
I was going to say I empathize with Fufu because when my drunk friends come over and we're trying to get everything all set up, they're just pressing buttons and
It's
selecting everything, leaving the
obnoxious.
game. It is so obnoxious. Like,
Oh,
I'm just
look,
trying
they
to, like, set up
accidentally
the
bought the Nickelback pack. Oh my goodness! What
Or
a
it's like-
mistake!
You're going through the song list and there's like the green
Yeah.
button. And they push it. It's just like, dude.
yeah, or like let the other players sign in. Or like, oh nope, start. Oh look, there's only 2 players and there's 4 of us.
Ugh,
Yes.
people are the worst.
I get the feeling they would do that if they were sober.
Depends on which
Just
friend.
saying.
Yeah, it depends on which friends.
Hey Siri, what should I dress up as for Halloween?
Okay, so we're not going to go on with that.
Just dress in black and stand in front of things.
I can go as an eclipse.
No, okay.
What? Hey Siri, what should I dress up as for
so
Halloween?
we have some
And some
contests.
tiny
For-
tool belts
Elle,
and go as
damn
a
it,
quantum
turn the-
mechanic.
No one wants to listen to Siri. Siri, shut up.
Wow, you are moody.
We've been
You
going for a
little
while.
bitch.
We don't need
I'm-
You
another
just said
derail.
you don't want to edit another 2-hour podcast?
That too.
I'm gonna go with Sailor Jupiter this year.
Really? You're gonna moon us? I don't know what. Jupiter's got a lot of moons. Wait, that's Saturn. Never mind.
So yeah, we have a couple of
I don't know what the
contests.
fuck I'm talking about.
With the team
No
competition,
contest. Proclamation
RTDL
point.
being. Are you done?
Damn, you're moody, son.
If you'd like to look at the contest, go to our Discord. Good God. We have rooms for the Gamertag Challenge, the RTDL that no one cares about because they're not in a contest unless your name is High Road, Vatu, or Kingsman, in which case you have a lot of unlocks already. Nate, how's Gamertag going?
Gamertag's going. I haven't counted too much to see how many full submissions we have going, but I can tell you, this month, for the Gamertag, Fighter X93 chip, that we already have 3 people
You
who
forgot to breathe before saying
met
that.
their P quota, and they have exceeded the amount of Ps In the Fighter X93 chip, we have Beelzebug with 3 extra. We have Jester with 7 extra. And would you like to guess what the maximum number of P is?
7.
No. There's one
13.
higher. How dare you, sir?
12.
26.
13 is correct.
Is it really?
42.
First try.
Reset 42.
Really? Good job, Reset.
That is
13 extra.
He's
a
got
lot
them
of P.
all already.
Yeah, there's only 8 days into October right now. So who knows how high these numbers are going to go. But yeah, that's impressive.
Good
That's a lot.
Reset.
That is a lot of P.
That's a lot of P's. Yeah. And that Matriarch is going to have to sort through all those P's to figure out who has the best chance of winning.
I am so glad I'm not in charge of this.
Well,
Yeah, she's definitely gonna have to do a lot of wading through those P to work
You're
on
trying.
that challenge.
You're trying. Because
if you
she's a
guys,
librarian. She'll be able to do this.
if you want to compete, you need to start adding some P's because these guys they're going for it.
Or you could just be that one guy that only does like one game, has one entry in the month, and when you win it, you just piss everyone off.
That is true. That could happen.
Better to be pissed off than peed
Pissed on?
I was trying to
There
relate
you
it
go.
back,
You
but
got
never mind.
You got it. You got there.
This is your fault again.
I realize that I've been walking into those all night. So next contest, GTASC. It's week 15. The individual bonus for this week is to end the scoring period with the same gamer score and achievements gained as the previous period. So yeah, if anyone is still interested in that, there's that. We have had some eliminations. On a team side, Dunkos has been eliminated. His team is out. And on the individuals, it is also Dunkos is also out on the individual, so he is done with GTASC. And Tropan has also been eliminated on the individual side.
What happened to Chopin? Didn't he just get like 30,000 points the week before?
Or
his team, maybe.
I think
Just
it was
say
his
yes.
team. Well, if it was him, it sounds like DK killed him.
All right. Speaking of words that start with P,
It's not your turn. It's...
proclamation point. What?
Okay. I'll let that one slide. My bad.
Just let
In
the P
completions.
slide out.
We have R56 Cooper S11 has reached a new milestone, 100 completed games.
That's Winnie Cooper's brother, just so you know.
So he's about
What?
a quarter, almost a fifth of Chippewa. Completion percentage, pTartTX has reached a new milestone. Completion percentage of 94%. Skeptical Mario has reached a new milestone of completion percentage of 89%. So these are not in ascending order.
He's trying to overtake my completion percentage now. But does he use the real settings?
I'm sure he does.
Skeptical Mario? I'm pretty sure.
He doesn't buy DLCs. So probably
Mario
not.
buys all the
No.
DLCs. He
No.
wouldn't be that guy.
Definitely doesn't.
No. I
Is
don't
he that
believe it.
guy?
Yeah, there's no way to really check, I don't think, someone else's is. Because it'll just show you what your settings are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally being sarcastic. He's that guy.
So that's not a real milestone then.
Dang. Well then.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Shots fired.
just round it down to 80, okay?
Okay.
It's probably correct
Eight-
then.
Yeah, 80's in the range where I start to write almost pretty.
Dang.
All right, Sarah, let's go streaking.
Woo!
Oh,
Let's
sure.
go
You left the
streaking.
streaking for Sarah.
Through the quad. Oh, there's my name. I was wondering which parts I was reading. All right.
Reading is good.
Reading is hard. Resit
I'm
42
impressed.
Correct?
Reading are hard.
is on a there is a lot of 10-day win streaks.
Well, I got yelled at for not putting them, so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll put them.
Okay, if people are alright with hearing me talk about these for a while. Chindakta is also streaking for 10 days. Crandy, also on a 10-day streak. Also, was it Dark? The Ark, the Lord Daphis is on a 10-day streak. Bees Middle. That's right. Bees Middle is also on a 10-day win streak. What's the is on
holding up the wrap it up button. Holding up the wrap it up button. I'm going to push it.
He's on a 25-day win streak.
Food.
Hatan.
There you go. That one's correct.
Yeah, Hatan 90 is on a 50-day win streak. High Road version 2 is on a 1-year achievement streak.
Way to go.
Matt Tism, who I have been told cheats at Gears Pop, is currently on a 2150-day achievement win streak. Then here, last minute, slip in here.
I know, because Kenny sucks.
That's not how I add these. That's an odd number.
But I wanted her to read it.
Yeah, but yeah, there's the last minute slip in there.
Slip
Big Eel is currently on a 2,475-day achievement win streak. Congratulations, Big Eel. Anyways, it looks like Big Eel has also won 17,250 achievements. Congratulations again, Big Eel. Yes, in a row. Though I was told the number was 36, but anyways.
37.
Oh, sorry, 37. It's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
Because it's in black and white, like all the movies that Nate has ever seen.
Yes. Toad Style Venom has reached a new milestone of 27,000 achievements won. Congratulations, Toad Style Venom.
Oh, I haven't said that in a long time.
You also need to use decoys in your in your Butcher Horde deck.
Not anymore, apparently.
Not anymore.
She said you suck. Suck, Stan. I won't listen to this either. You and the Yankees both suck.
Alright, and my arch rival, Dunkos, has reached a new milestone of 350,000 gamer score. Elle, do you know anything about some leaderboards?
Oh, Elgway.
You skipped
what's going on. Yeah, you stole my job, so now I gotta get back in the groove. Eliphalet77 has reached a milestone of 450,000 TA score. Karandi, 650,000 TA score. Kingsman2625, who I may have reminded him that once he completed Crackdown 3 Wrecking Zone, he abandoned everyone. 800,000 TA score.
Ouch.
What? Speak of the truth. And our lady friend Sasha Morning, 1,700,000 TA score.
Ooh.
Prue, this is a big one.
Kenny, Sasha's not a girl.
Don't be doing ex-hero moves now. Now you're just reaching low territory. You're going to talk about New Jersey next? Alright, I guess you can talk shit about New Jersey. New Jersey sucks. KooshMoose is now in the top 100,000 at the achievements completion circle percentage leaderboard.
God.
Wait, wasn't that $10,000 earlier?
I think it's 10,000. Yeah, I think it's 10,000. I don't think I'm that high.
You might be high if you have some of pTart's brownies. Okay, 10,000, sure. Carpe Adam is now in the top 2,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for ID at Xbox games. That's a pretty cool one. Wonder if he knows anything about ID at Xbox games.
Nope, it's 100,000.
Even better.
Our good friend Eliphalet is now in the top 50 of the Gamerscore leaderboard for Vayners.
Woo!
If he didn't use the light theme, he'd be a much cooler guy, but it's a good accomplishment nonetheless. Death Dealers is now in the top 50,000 of the Gamerscore leaderboard club. And Prue was really excited to share this news in Brag Camp. Number 1 in the Virginia Gamerscore leaderboard for Windows. So he's one out of 6 people tracked of this, and he's really excited. I have no idea why he was so excited.
I am so proud of my BFF. I mean, that is quite the accomplishment.
Did you help him with this in Achievement Fest? I'm sure this was, you were playing Tinker with him or something.
No, I did not tinker with Prue.
Tinker with Prue?
I did not tinker with Prue.
Right. That was Mango. I know. Trust me.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we know.
There were wild rumors that
I started. I mean, that I heard.
that baby pTart 2 was going to be conceived at Achievement Fest, but that was not the case. So,
Aww.
no, I am not pregnant.
I better not be. You've been drinking up a storm during the recording.
And eating a lot of brownies.
Like a lot. Sports leaderboard roundup featuring the guy with a ton of hats. Wow, that's an excellent category. Whatever that could be. Oh, look, Haton.
Haton
1492 is now in the top 20,000 of the TA leaderboard for hockey and 1,000 of the England TA leaderboard for hockey.
They're legit sports this week. I was expecting like equestrian racing,
but it's
badminton.
It's probably curling.
Yeah.
Oh man, they need a curling game. That'd be awesome. All right, we got some birthdays. Ben L72, who used to be on my GTASCTT team in the first month of the trial thing, and I've disowned him since then. His birthday was October 4th. Fisher LeFleur's birthday was October 4th.
Lame. Everything that Facial LaFleur does is lame.
It's easier
Well
than
then.
Spaceman.
Thanks, man.
Also, October 4th.
Wow, did their parents plan this?
So the person that basically created RTDL and the person that keeps RTDL going have the same birthday? That's pretty crazy. Well, happy birthday to you three. And I guess, well, Dunkin' Donuts, happy 17th birthday, whatever the hell, you're October 6th. Maybe one day you can buy some alcohol and put it in your coffee. That's called an Irish coffee, and it's delicious. Put some Baileys in there, or some hazelnut thingies.
Is that like Irish cream creamer?
Yes.
All right, then. It is pretty good.
I'm trying to think if there's any other derails. Nope. Time for bed.
No more derails? All right. Script says we done.
Aren't you going to read the... Yeah.
Script says we done, so we done. Nah. As always, if you enjoyed the show, please like and review us on your platform of choice. If you want to send us a Twitter tweet, you can do so by sending us one on the Twitter at Achievements101. Be sure to join the Discord. Link to the Discord is discord.io/AH101.
Oh!
And if you enjoyed this show,
There's something wrong with you.
You must be crazy. This was insane. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
If you enjoyed this show, you can become a patron like the wonderful, pretty Sarah over here.
Thanks, Sarah.
I just waved, but I just realized you three are the only one who could see me wave.
I see you.
Yes, this is a audio podcast.
We do have a new Patreon-y.
Patronite?
So thank you, new Patreon person. Before the show, we recorded like 15-20 minutes of nonsense for you guys. Hope you enjoy it.
Absolutely nonsense. Oh my god.
I don't even remember what we talked about. But hopefully
Lots
you
of
laugh and have a good time.
dongles and inappropriate dog names and stuff like that.
Knobs and accessories and...
So yes, it's definitely stuff that is going behind a paywall. Yeah.
It's uncensored.
It'll be something. But yes, if you would like to help support the show, you can do so by checking out our Patreon, patreon.com/achievementhunting101. All of the links for all of this stuff will be in the show notes. And hopefully if L does his job, there will also be some show notes. But if nothing else, there will be the links.
This week. Hopefully I can get my audio uploaded in a proper fashion.
That too. All right, guys. Class dismissed. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye!
Hello everyone, I'm Wakapeil, and I'm the 80th person on True Achievements Survival Leaderboard, despite not really liking the genre, and certainly not playing them as intended. So how did I end up there? Exploits! I've already told you about how I got tons of score out of Minecraft and the ARK Survival Evolved, barely learning how to play the games. Next up is ARK Survival Evolved spin-off PixARK. Despite Not fact-checking this segment, it will probably take me longer to put together than it took me to get all of PixARK's 32 achievements worth 1000 gamer score and 1150 TA. PixARK was released into the game preview program for free for a limited time before they upped the price to $25, which in my mind is $25 too much. At release, this mess of a game got even more expensive, upping the price to $40, which is $40 too much for this weird Ark Minecraft hybrid. While looking like an ugly Minecraft clone, it manages to run as poorly as the way more impressive looking Big Brother Ark. Fortunately for achievement hunters, PixARK follows in Ark's footsteps and offers console commands to easily obtain most achievements. There are only 2 luck-based ones that might cause you trouble, but only because the game does not deserve your money and can be completed within the free 1-hour trial. I highly recommend a good written achievement guide, such as the walkthrough on TA and using a keyboard either directly in your Xbox or streamed to a PC. Many claim that the game can be completed within 15 minutes, which is reasonable if you find all you need in your first world. Unfortunately for me, I did not and had to create several new ones which all took way longer than they should to load. If you worry about future title updates, I can't be certain, but considering how bad the Xbox port of PixARK looks, plays and performs, I'd say that will not happen. If it, against all odds, does, you can download a new trial on a second account to get another hour to obtain any new achievements. Thankfully, the completion can be yours in around 30 minutes, and then you can shove PixARK off your hard drive and out of your mind, 1000 gamerscore richer, $0 poorer, wondering who willingly would pay $40 to play PixARK. Have a nice day, everyone.
The world's best damn fighting machine-o. Them Nazis will learn what I mean-o. My wonderful guns will murder them bums, and I'll bury them in the latrino.
Welcome back to the Achievement Hunting 101 Game Club for OXENFREE. I am Kronos, and tonight for our discussion I am joined by Freamwhole.
Hello!
And pTartTX.
Hey!
So this time, we're going to catch up with where people are, because last time we had to cut our discussion short. We were running a little bit long as our discussion of the Clarissa side of the loop, and we ended going back to Hardened Tower and realizing we had a decision to make about who we were going to go into town with. And I mentioned at the end of last week that I had, in my playthrough, elected to go into town with Nona. Who do you guys choose to take to go into town with you?
I chose to go with Jonas because I've kind of stuck with him the entire way, and I don't know, I just felt like I needed to stay faithful to him.
And I went with Nona as well. She was delightful. And it's her birthday, so come on!
Well, not quite yet. Her birthday is in 3 days, okay. Assuming we can get off the island and she can celebrate her birthday. But yeah, we know this now if we take Nona, and that may come up a little bit later on as well. The path you walk is obviously the same, but the conversations you have along the way are going to be very different, because Nona, this is, in a lot of cases, the very first chance you have to really meet and interact with Nona for a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
Whereas you, pTart, are going to just mostly have more of Jonas, and we've gotten to know Jonas pretty well already through the night, having gone around both sides of the loop of the island with him so far. But we get to know him better as well, get to see a different side of him, perhaps. So, how was that walk for you? Freem, why don't you tell us about the stuff that you and Nona talked about?
Well, so here's the thing. I totally forgot where we left off. And so I looked at my map, and I didn't know. I knew we were trying to find the boathouse or whatever, or like the key for the boathouse. And I was like, okay, I don't know where that is. So I started wandering around the island quite a bit, and all I could hear was Nona talking about, boy, do you think Clarissa's okay? Where's Clarissa? How does Clarissa doing? And it's like, God, just shut up about Clarissa. Goodness gracious. Don't you have anything else to say?
And she's worried.
Well, there was that weird bit where she was like, I totally remember you in that one class, and like I passed it off like, oh yeah, no, don't worry about it. You know, we don't really hang out. I get it. I thought that was kind of weird. But yeah, the whole time it was just, she was so obsessive about Clarissa.
Okay. How about you, pTart? What was the conversation like with Jonas trying to get to town?
So this was from my playthrough a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember every single intimate detail that we talked about. But the biggest thing I do remember is he talked about his time that he spent in jail. I found that very shocking.
Yeah, we had an opportunity to discuss with him earlier whether he had gone to jail or not. And if you actually point blank ask him, he denies it. But now it's been an issue where we've gone through some trauma together, and he's opening up. He's telling us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was interesting. Apparently, he just lost his temper and beat up a kid at school. And I believe he talks about his mom a little bit, his mom that passed away on our walk as well.
Mm-hmm. That's obviously been a very formative thing for him. Obviously, a death, especially the first time that someone that you love dies, is very hard. And when you are young, it's that much harder, especially when it's someone as close to you as that. So this has affected him profoundly, and it really is a major point in his backstory that is going to come up again as we go further into the game. But we are going to make it to the town, and basically as soon as we get to town, we meet Clarissa again.
Hey, there she is!
She's just hanging out on top of a light post, doing whatever she wants, because she's Clarissa.
Well, and you see her, and it's like immediately red eyes, or when she starts mumbling all sorts of garbage, and it's like, hey, I know how to handle this, guys. Let me bust out my radio.
We've been through this before.
Mm-hmm. Yep, creepy Clarissa.
Yeah, but this one was different. So, and I have to assume this happened to you guys when you start messing with that radio. And Clarissa freaks out on you. So I got I tuned it, right? I got the first triangle. It's like, all right, we'll just do this again. And I go to the second triangle, and immediately after the second triangle shows up, she's like, you think you can control me? I'm like, whoa, hey, I'm just here trying to help. And I don't remember what she said after that, but Alex is like, hey, it helped the others. They're kids. They've never been through anything. Whoa, this was real aggressive. What's going on here?
Well, Clarissa has always been the aggressive one. In our very first conversation, I mentioned just how aggressive she was and how that makes her a very divisive character. And she was so aggressive, you called her the wing bitch.
Oh, yeah.
So she's just playing true to type here.
Absolutely.
Even when she's possessed.
Well, at that point, too, because she says, they are kids, she's not even referring to herself as Clarissa, right? This isn't Clarissa. Whatever entity is possessing her is clearly addressing me as Alex, and Alex, as the character, knows, I know you're not Clarissa, but you're also not helpful, and you're being kind of mean about it.
The entities are spending less and less time pretending, and in a lot of ways that makes it actually creepier.
Oh, yeah.
Because they seem like they feel like they're in control. They are in control, but she is still Clarissa. This is perhaps the real Clarissa for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
So you're gonna finish off the triangle with her, and
no, I never got to. I never did. Did you guys get to finish the triangle? No way. All of a sudden, the ghosty zipped out, and she looked bad. And all of a sudden, Ghost zipped out, and then Clarissa, just like when all the entities leave, the body becomes limp, and Clarissa just does a face plant off the top of a streetlight, right onto the ground. And then and then gets up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. It's like, what you were dead a minute ago? Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm a little foggy. I remember seeing you. That's a little weird. I'm like, again, I don't have the option as the character to say this, but as the player, I'm thinking, you just took a face full of concrete. How are you okay? What's going on?
From 10 or 12 feet up.
Yeah.
It's a regular occurrence for her. I mean, she did it out of a building and now off a lamppost, so...
Yeah, we do have a sort of not a full-time loop, because we don't have to do anything with the magnetophones this time around. So it's not quite the same, but something happens and she's gone. And we go back to our mission of trying to find the key to get into the Adler house so we can get her boat and get out of here.
Yeah, so we get to... We break down a door, a little breaking and entering.
You broke in. pTart, did you break in?
I just pushed the door. Is that breaking in? I just shoved the door?
You shoved it.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, you had to put your shoulder into it.
I made Jonas do it.
Yeah, he's a criminal. You do it.
Jonas can actually pick the lock.
Oh, really?
He picks the lock
That's
at the top of the tower, and he can pick the lock here if you take Jonas with you. He can open that if you just give him a few minutes. If you bring Nona, you have to break in by both of you pushing on the door because neither of you is strong enough to do it by yourself. And it's somewhat similar if you bring Ren, if my recollection is correct. But if you bring Jonas, he'll pick the lock for you if you let him.
Interesting.
So inside the museum, there's a lot of little things to look at. Some, like I said before, this game is just chock full of interesting details. And this room is one of those places where there's a lot of little details that don't necessarily add a ton to the story, but give it a lot of... It shows that this place is alive. But you can find the radio, which you need to find, and gave it away. The new key is a new radio. Mm-hmm. And this new radio has extra stations on it. It goes much higher and much lower on the dial than your regular radio does.
Yeah, like down to 50 hertz, and...
That means you can pick up new signals.
Up to 100.
Isn't it up to 150
or 140 or something? It's way out there. No, but it's like 170, 180. I know, frequencies are way messed up.
The range is probably twice as big as your basic radio. So with the radio and our key, it's time to make our way to the Adler house. This is a short walk. It's just a few screens away. This can't possibly take too long.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm, of course, making a joke because it takes a little while. What makes this thing take so long?
Because we go back in time.
We've got a flashback.
We got a bunch of Well, it's... So the first one, and I think this was back when you were breaking in that door, was like... It was like the beach scene, but you were in the town, right? You were playing Truth or Slap, but you were in the town, right? That was during your conversation with Clarissa?
Yes, that's when Clarissa disappears.
Yeah.
So she's taking you back to that section, then she's going to vanish.
Super confrontational with her there. And I started to come clean about that. So then when we start walking, we're back in time now, and Clarissa is... It flashes back to a year ago, and you are with Michael, and Clarissa is totally normal.
Clarissa is happy. She's not just normal, she's happy.
Yes, and Alex has brown hair.
Good catch. That is correct, she does.
Oh, I did not see that. I mean, I know now that you said it, and I hear that, but I didn't put that together initially.
So the Alex's brain from right now, experiencing all this, is sort of placed in this Alex's body from a year ago, knowing all the things she currently does, knowing that Alex is going to die, and that she and Clarissa and Michael are out on this beach trip for a date night, essentially, and she's chaperoning it. But she knows this is how this is going to end, and she's confused because she doesn't think that she's been transported back in reality in time. She thinks that somehow this is just the island playing tricks on her again, which, fair point, it probably is. You have a couple of interesting conversation options here. A couple of the things I want to point out, and then we can talk about some of the things you guys had as specific examples. Michael, during this period of time, talks about how their parents have been fighting. They were already fighting before he passes away, so their relationship was a bit on the rocks. And there's a time in here where you get your chance to make a choice, to tell Michael how you think he should handle his relationship with Clarissa. She wanders off to get a cold drink from town, and you have a heart-to-heart with your brother. What do you think? Is this going to work out? Should I let it go, or stay out of the way? Another interesting thing about this flashback that I noticed is that the soundtrack that is so pervasive throughout this entire game, so successful in setting the mood, is completely absent in this flashback.
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
What else happened to the flashback for you guys?
Did this flashback start with that scene where they were playing Truth or Slap when they first got on the island? Or
no, that was
did we go past
flashback
that already?
We've gone past that. We can certainly go back if there's something important there. That's the flashback that sort of segues us from Clarissa taking the faceplant onto the concrete to the point where she disappears, because we need some sort of... If she were just to vanish, it'd be surprising. We need a visual cue that something has changed, that we've had a scene change, even though we haven't left the area. So that flashback is happening there. And it was an interesting one. We're definitely getting a lot of information out of Clarissa there.
Yeah, I'll go back to that one for a sec, because that keyed in onto my behavior for this flashback with Michael. Is when it first happened and I was there, and I started freaking out, and I was getting, mad, and Clarissa was yelling at me, and, we're talking about Michael drowning and stuff, and Nona came up and supported me. Like, she was like, hey, knock it off, Clarissa, you're being a jerk, whatever. And so then when that little time loop thing ended, and Nona was there with me, and she was kind of like, hey, because she hadn't experienced a time loop with Alex before, who obviously, being able to, having us as the fourth wall here, letting us know, yeah, we know what's going on, but Nona doesn't. And so I was very much like super blasé about the whole fact that there are ghosts and time loops and we're going back in time. And so I was just kind of, oh yeah, deja vu. Oh yeah, constantly dealing with these ghosts things. Yeah, don't worry about it. And I was super nonchalant about it. Like, okay, I'm Alex. I'm the main character. I'm in control, quote unquote, in control when it comes to these time loop things. I'm the only one who, has this external point of view and knows what's going on. So, you know what, Nona? Just hold my beer. I'll take care of what's going on. and so then when we get to this Michael scene, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I am back in time, like you had said, with the knowledge of the future. And so I'm like, these things need to happen, Michael. Like, don't, and I said to him, you got to dump Clarissa. Get rid of her. And he's leaving. He wants out. So just, go do your thing. Get out of here. Because I know you got to get away from the water at least. Obviously, I didn't have an option to say that kind of thing. But I'm playing it off like I'm coming back from the future to help you. I'm changing the events of the past. And it's written so well where the comments that I'm thinking I'm making, Michael is obviously has no idea what's going on, and he's turning them. And that's where the comment about, oh, yeah, well, just because our parents are fighting, they fight all that, that happens. It's okay. It's nothing to do with us. And I'm thinking, I'm not talking about our parents. I'm talking about the fact that you died, and for the last year, I've been trying to deal with it, And he's thinking, oh, no, they're okay. It'll be fine. It's like, it's not going to be fine. What is wrong with you? And at that point, when I yelled, it's not fine, is when I was just like, I can't do anything. I can't change anything. And so I just need to let Michael know how I feel about him. This might be my chance, my only chance here to kind of see him again. And so kind of just being worn down by the fact that it was helpless to do anything is what keyed me in. I actually had this so I'm going to take a little tangent here. I had this conversation with my son, who is 11, about time travel and how you can't go backwards in time. And we were talking about the movie or the H.G. Wells book, The Time Machine, and the fact that, the time machine can't exist if his wife doesn't die, because his wife triggers him to make the time machine. And so those two things have to happen so that the events take place as they do. And so I finally got to that point in this story where it was like, if Michael doesn't die, then I'm not here. So I can't change anything, and I have to watch his final days as a flashback, and it's super depressing, and I'm just down,
So quick question for you, Freem, since you chose a different companion. In that first initial flashback with them on the beach, when they first arrived, did Clarissa flat out blame you for Michael's death?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because that really stood out to me.
And I said it wasn't my fault.
I also said the same thing. That definitely stood out to me, that she was blaming. I mean, that's, a lot of reason that she has that bitterness toward Alex is because she blames him for Michael's death, because, Alex is the one who insisted that they needed to go back out to the island. She wanted to go for a swim. She wanted to go out one last time before he left. And provided a lot more. I guess I understand where Clarissa's coming from a little bit more. And with segueing to that, I made the decision for when we traveled back, that he should stay with Clarissa, because, you got to see a different side of her, and I guess I understood why she has that bitterness.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I went ahead and said, I know what she becomes, so dump her, get rid of her. She's mean, she's a bully. I've seen her true colors.
You've seen what she's like when she's stressed out. It doesn't have to be your death that stresses her out, but something's going to stress her out, and you don't want to see that when it happens.
Right. That's kind of where the angle I was taking.
So I have a question for you guys. You both have given me the answer of what choice you made, but remember that when you were on the loop where you saved Ren, you had the reflection tell you what to do when this time came up. Did you listen to your reflection, or did you make your own choice?
No, I think I did the same. I did what my reflection said, is to get them to break up.
I don't remember what my reflection told me to do.
So that's a very emotional flashback sequence, and we come out of it, and our companion, Nona, and on Freem in my case, or Jonas in your case, pTart, is standing above us as we are on the ground, and is telling us that we were kind of out of it. We were basically possessed. While we were having that flashback, our body was doing what Clarissa's body was just doing a few minutes ago, or what Jonas's body was doing when we spoke about this last week, or what Ren's body was doing 2 weeks ago. The ghosts are getting to us, too, and this is what we see when that happens.
Oh, so the other characters are seeing flashbacks, or...
They might. They're not talking about it.
No, they're seeing us. Yeah. It seems as though they're seeing Alex dancing around like a puppet and being lifted up in the air and weird stuff.
And since no one else has the radio, they can't help us out, so it just has to wear off after a few minutes. I also want to say that during the very end of this flashback, as we come back to that main sequence, the bottom and the top of the screen get that staticky, warped look that you often see when you're in your time loops, and I think that's meaningful. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to signify, but it's there for a reason.
Well, I think it just means, to me, it means like you are in a dimensional shift. Like you're not in whatever, you consider the real world, but you have shifted into a different plane of existence. Maybe time is different, or even which year or when this takes place could be different. But I just get the impression that, like, if you had a candle burning and you went to this staticky area, like the wax wouldn't be diminishing at all. Like time kind of stands still. That's how I feel when I see that type of visual imagery.
Mm-hmm. Makes a lot of sense. We get back up and we walk the rest of the way to the front of Maggie Adler's house, where we get to the locked gate, and we get to the rest of our party. In Freeman, my case, Jonas or Ren are right there, and in your case, pTart, I'm going to guess that since you brought Jonas, Ren and Nona are hanging out in front. But in either case, Clarissa is missing. So we have 4 people.
She ran off again.
We're not entirely sure when we've seen her last. She was probably the person who was on top of the lamppost, and we had interactions with her, but we're not entirely sure which ones are even the real her at this point. And perhaps we never will be.
I thought it was funny because obviously I had mentioned last time that I was so sick of Jonas and Ren that I left them up in the tower. I'm like, you guys figure out your stuff. And so immediately the first thing I asked them was like, oh, did you guys make up? And like they were both, yeah, whatever. We're fine. They didn't want to talk about it. Like they clearly didn't do what I told them to do.
They're still being antagonistic.
Bunch of jerks.
Guys.
So it's our turn to open up the gate, and we have the new lock mechanic being brought to us. So for this lock mechanic, we tune the radio, just like every other time, and it opens up the lock. Except that the tuning is slightly different because it's on the newer radio, and you have to hold it. It's the same kind of thing. It's the radio. So it's not too hard, and you can get across and into the next scene, our threshold. And this was going to be where we were going to have our stop last week, but I'm glad we stopped early because obviously there's a lot of stuff we had to cover here. Honestly, I had forgotten about that flashback sequence with Michael and Clarissa on the beach. I thought that was later, and so therefore I thought we had less stuff to cover. But that's obviously a really big portion of the game and needs to have a reasonable period of discussion. We get into Maggie Adler's house area, and we see the boat. There is a boat.
Yay!
Yep. I will say that this house... So, when you see that boat and you're like, hey, no keys, we can't drive it, what are we going to do? Well, maybe we can get into this house. Another one of those locks is in there. And so you're cruising around this house. So at this point, I've stretched myself out very thin this week as I recorded with the rest of the show last night for a little segment. And I needed to get this done. So it was like 1 a.m. And again... 100% kudos to the sound design team. This house, with just its creaking, was terrifying. I was so unnerved simply just walking around this house with its just slight noises, and oh man, it was just so unsettling.
That's really the immersion that a pair of headphones can get to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say halfway through my exploration during this house, I actually just hit pause, got up, left the room, and came back. Yes, because I'm like, something is going to happen very soon. You
can feel the tension building.
Yes.
Well, first of all, as soon as you open the lock, you see Clarissa. She's already in the house.
Yep, that was
And she's
weird.
not glowing.
No, she's
normal. She's not glowing. She's not possessed.
But she somehow got in there.
She says she climbed in through the kitchen window.
But isn't it like at the beginning of the story where that weird time shift happened and everybody ended up in different places across the island? Is it just that again and she happened to get dropped in the kitchen of the house?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, maybe.
I honestly don't think she really did sneak in the kitchen window, because with the front door locked with this particular security lock and knowing what we are going to learn about Maggie Adler, I don't think she's the kind of person who would have left a kitchen window open.
Unlocked. Yeah. No, that's totally fair.
And, Clarissa is right back. After the flashback, she was nice and friendly. She's right back in hitting it hard. She does not like us. She's attacking us again right from the start. It is remarkable, in fact, how the personality shifted so suddenly from us in terms of continuity. It can be a bit like Whiplash.
Yeah, she's super unfriendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she gets real vicious here.
Looking for the boat keys. Where are the boat keys? We gotta explore the house. You hear all the creaking. There's a lot of memorabilia around. There's a picture of Maggie and some friends of hers. There's a bunch of books. The books are really interesting. There's books on all kinds of cult sciences, on real sciences, religion, everything you'd expect to see in a nice house for someone of Maggie Adler's age. Eventually you're going to go and explore the attic, though, because that's where you need to go.
Yep.
Does going to the attic seem like a wise idea? Isn't that kind of a creepy thing? I mean, Jonas brings this up. He says that attics are always kind of creepy because it's confined spaces and dark and spiders and all these things that just make it creepy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, completely nothing scary about attics.
So when you go to the chest and it's got that lock on it, is there any way to have that code before you get up there?
Yes.
Yes, I did that by accident.
So did I.
You went in that room with Ren first?
Yep, when I was exploring, I had gone into the basement first, yes.
Yes, and I went in there with Jonas.
Yeah, I actually went into the basement area before I went into the house on my first playthrough.
Me too.
Even before I unlocked the door and met Clarissa, I'd already explored that area.
I did that as well.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't do that at all. I was in the house, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I need a code. Like, okay, there's all this crap on the walls. There's all sorts of stuff. It's gotta be here somewhere. And then I saw at the bottom of my screen, and it was Ren, open that little basement door outside, and I'm like, okay. I've played enough video games. I think I know what's going on here.
They're signposting for you pretty well throughout. It's the game really does do a pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kronos and I were just playing more efficiently.
Either way, you do need to go to the basement to get the code. And in the basement, there's more memorabilia, more books, and a reel-to-reel video player and slide machine, and some decks of slides and photos. You can play around with them a little bit, but we'll come back to that later on because we're going to have to use that in a few minutes anyway. But you get the code either before you explore the house or after, and you go back up to the attic and you put the code in, and inside the chest is just more radios and debris, basically. Not what we're looking for at all. Except that Jonas finds the keys. So we missed it, but Jonas finds it.
Or did Jonas have the keys all along? Duh, duh, duh.
Well, that's an interesting take. He's practicing his prestidigitation and pulls them out of his back pocket and sneaks them into the chest. Interesting.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, I mean, look at his history. He's been to jail. He can pick locks. He gets in the fights, and I don't know. He's kind of a shady guy.
That's super. Yeah, that's a good take. I'd never even considered.
I like it as well. I hadn't considered it either, and I think it brings a lot of extra nuance to this situation that is very reasonable. So one of the things I noticed as you're exploring the house is that there are candles all over the house, like big tall pillar candles, and they're scattered in interesting patterns. It's almost like occult rituals are taking place here. At least that was a read that I had on it at one point.
I didn't even notice the candles.
Is this before or after the house goes all kitty wumpus on you?
That's a fair point. I only noticed it after, so let's get to that. But I think they were there before. But I did notice it after. And what happens is, well, now we got the boat keys. Cool. We've got the keys. We've got everyone. Clarissa's in the house, too. Guys, it's time to go home. Game's over. Let's get out of here. Just go down the stairs and... nuts.
Yep. Just like attics aren't creepy, the video game's just going to wrap up all simple, neat, and square there, so...
Yep, we win!
Yeah, I have my note here is Lee Corso's line, "Not so fast, my friends." Going down the stairs triggers our next time loop. We end up back in the attic, and Clarissa's talking to us.
Everybody's sleeping.
Are they sleeping?
The first people I saw were all I put quotes around the word sleeping. because when we see when we see this, it's very much like they're just sacks of potatoes, just limp bodies. But they're in at least upright positions, like they fell asleep on a couch, except Nona, who's crumpled on the floor. But the other two boys are like at least propped up against something.
Yeah, I mean, it's plausible that they could be sleeping.
And so I saw them first, and then creepy Clarissa gets in there, and whoo boy.
Come and talk to me. And you can check on everybody first. You know, you can delay it as much as you want, but you're not getting anywhere until you go into the living room and have a chat with Clarissa.
And so I, like, at this point, I was trying my hardest to avoid the mirror. I felt super uneasy with this mirror, and so I'm just trying to dodge this whole thing, and then, walk over to Clarissa, and the fact, like, she has still very much her voice. Like, it's not that distortion voice that we were typically hearing. It's still, there's still a bit of that in the background, but it's very much Clarissa, almost like you're having a conversation with her, maybe a little bit of echo on there, but it's not where it's that weird, like, choppiness that we were getting from these ghosts before.
Yeah, I mean, they maybe slip through occasionally, but it's usually Clarissa's voice telling us and interacting with us, rather than what you're experiencing before.
Yeah, I noticed a difference as well that time frame. Yeah, her voice was a lot more clear. It wasn't so, like, I don't know, authoritative like the recordings or like that scratchiness that we're used to hearing from those entities. But what she says...
I didn't write down the transcript on this one, because ultimately what they are saying here isn't so important in terms of the wording that they use, because they're using Clarissa's voice, it's much clearer, and they are actually communicating in very, very clear terms. But they're going to play a game with us.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to play a game just like they played Hangman with us before. Now it's time to have a scavenger hunt.
Well, and, like, I wrote this statement down because it really got me, was, this is the final part of your training, Alex.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What training? And the Clarissa entity is consistently using the pronoun we. We are doing this, and we need this, and we are, and it's like, oh boy, okay. Everything's coming to a head now.
Mm-hmm. So before the start of that game, she sings that little ditty, something about candles, and then she sings about chopping off your heads. Oh, that really creeped me out and got to me.
Yeah. Right?
She was just singing all, like, almost happy, like.
There was a song, I don't remember the specifics, but I remember I was unsettled.
Yes.
That's this game's specialty, is unsettling us.
100%.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd have the transcript on that one, because that was really creepy.
The gist of it is that, it's clear, as Freem's saying, the we pronoun, the ghosts are the sunken, the soldiers, sailors, officers who were on the submarine, and what they are after, as we find out through this game and in the conversation before and after the game, they are very upset that they died in their youth, and they want more life.
Right.
Seems pretty reasonable. Unfortunately, they found a path to get more life, or so they think, and they talk about Maggie Adler and her friend Anna. That this is not the first time this particular series of events has occurred. Maggie has had a run-in with us before, and her friend Anna has had a run-in with her before, and when that happened, Anna died. Whatever happened, it went really bad for Anna, because the ghosts tried to get into her and live inside of her, and something about it went wrong.
Did this happen after the game? Or, because I'm trying to think of the clue for, how did everybody do at the game?
Oh, I did terrible.
I got B2. I only got 1 out of 3.
Okay, I got 2 of them. Are they the same? Radiation and not, and then memories or whatever as the clues?
No, I had different ones, I thought. Or no, are those the clues? Okay, no, you had to find the
Those
TV.
are the clues. Yeah, TV.
Yeah, the letter and...
Picture the... Oh, it was a letter? Mine was a picture of that knot on the wall.
No, mine was like, it referred to like a book or some kind of notes for my second one.
Oh, interesting. Kronos, did you have the knot?
I had the knot as well, but I have also had the letter, yes, so...
Okay.
I've had them both.
Interesting. I suppose, you've had multiple... to get the completion, you need multiple playthroughs. And always does the second one flip the house upside down?
Just like in the Hangman game.
Okay. Gosh, that was really hard to navigate.
That's why I definitely missed that one. You're trying to find these things. You don't necessarily know where they are. How much exploring you did in the house beforehand matters, but they weren't interactable before, so unless you were really paying attention, and the art style in this game is really nice, and it sets the tone, but it's not super detailed, so you're not necessarily going to see, a picture of a knot or a portrait, or, fortunately you see the bookcases, but you're looking for some really small things sometimes.
Yeah, and she doesn't give you much time.
Yeah, she counts from 10.
No, that's what caught me up on the memories thing, because, so I struggled to get to the knot, because it was upside down. And then I knew I had my third one, and I was like, boy, she counts really fast. So I parked myself at the top of the stairs so I could, go in all three directions. And then she said memories. I'm like, okay, it's got to be a picture of some sort. And so I walked over by Ren, because he's got that big wall of whatever. And I keep hitting A. I'm tap, 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 tap. Like, oh, no, okay. You know what? Maybe it's like one of those weird riddle things. And it's like, oh, memory. Like, I'm the memory. I'm going to go to the mirror. Because that thing's been freaking me out. I wonder if something's going to happen, and so I went the wrong way and missed the stupid picture.
And the third one can also be upstairs or downstairs. So, because the third one can change as well, you can either have a portrait of Maggie and Anna, or you can have a picture on the wall. So it's both times it's a picture, but it's
so mine was of
Maggie and
Maggie and
either
Anna.
upstairs or downstairs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, mine was Maggie and Anna as well. So, Freem, when you answered you said you got one wrong. Who disappeared?
That last one.
Yeah, who disappeared
Ren.
when that happened?
Ren got warped into oblivion.
So Nona went first for me, and then Jonas, and I was left with Ren.
Yeah, I wonder why that would be. If is it random? Do you have any idea, Coronas?
Which ones did you guys get wrong? You said that the one that you missed was the portrait. pTart, did you get the portrait one? And which one did you miss? Or which two did you miss?
I only got the portrait. I got the portrait
So
correct.
that was the one that Freem missed. So that'd be my guess as to how it's programmed, so that it's per thing to a specific individual, and then
you missed the first one, it's Nona. You missed the second one, that makes sense.
Yeah. After having played it the first time, I didn't make a mistake again the second and third time, so I didn't see the pattern there. So that's my guess.
Yeah, it could be.
So yeah, we finished the game. We have the conversation. We continue that, and that's where the stuff that was happening was. It becomes very clear. The ghosts are telling us what their plan is. They are going to take over our bodies so that they can live their lives that were ripped away from them. And, they're still very angry about their deaths, and they have zero sympathy for us. And we have zero sympathy for them. And we can even say as much, but it doesn't matter. This is their plan, and they are seeming like they're going to be able to enact it.
Well, and, after this game, because they had said others played the game before, Anna and Margaret, only one survived. But we found a way. The way we did it initially didn't work.
We went too fast. We need to soak in.
Exactly. I love the wording there. Like waves. We need to absorb into your friends, and we will grow and morph, and Anna was too fast. We need to soak. The word soak was so... It's so evocative. I love how that
played out. It's poetic language here. How sunlight blooms into flowers and how they're going to soak into our bodies. Mm-hmm. And it maybe explains some of their rationale for why they're playing the games with us, because they need to introduce themselves to us slowly rather than trying to just slam their way in and take over.
So I have a little note here, and this is where my wild speculation comes into play. Should we hear it now, or should we play out?
Go for it. Let's hear speculation.
Okay. So, as hearing this and hearing the words soak and getting all this, my brain was thinking, okay, so Michael died a year ago, and then we were here on this island. Has Clarissa been possessed since then? And she is like a siren luring us back to the island one more time, knowing like, okay, I gotta get my friends' bodies. So for like a whole year, we've been having this little group, and I'm trying to get you all come to the island because I need you to be here. And I know that, that piece of work Alex can't keep her nose out of things, and so she's gonna jerk around at the radio, and that'll open the door for us to come. So in my head, I don't know. Again, it seems way out there, but I'm maybe Clarissa is not so great.
Interesting. So I guess this may be a dumb question, but what brought them to the island to begin with? I mean, it doesn't seem like it's a very happy place for them if the last time they went there, Michael drowned.
So I misunderstood your question. I thought for a second you were asking what brought the ghosts to the island. Well, they've been there the entire time. In fact, we asked them that, or had a chance to ask them that in a previous session. And they say, why are we here? What a question. We never left. Now, what brings Alex and Clarissa back to the island after the tragedy? A year later to, have a drinking party on the beach that doesn't seem particularly safe when you know that a friend of yours or your brother has died on that beach drowning. It's tough. Why come back? Because it's a tradition. This island has a real place in the hearts of the townsfolk of the island. They all seem to do this. It's a ritual for kids in this grade to do it. Now, why are only these ones there rather than the rest of their class? That's a fair question. They didn't have to come, clearly, but they did. Mm-hmm. What makes us do the things we do, and what makes these characters do this particular thing? That's a tough question. I don't have a good answer for you right now.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of thought piece there.
They finished telling us their plan.
Yep, now do we get to talk about the mirror?
They finished telling us their plan, and Clarissa disappears, and we're in that whole time loop thing again, and there are the 3 magnetophones. We got 3 this time. This is a familiar routine now, though. We've done it before. So now it's time to run about the house and turn off all of the magnetophones and spin them around to get the music playing. And that requires you to walk in front of the mirror. And when you walk in front of the mirror, it's happening again. You get another vision of yourself.
The name.
Someone is telling you something else to do when you get the next chance as you. And there's another gamer tag. So we talked about this last time, so you had a chance to pay attention to it. Who is the gamer tag you had this time? Was it the same one as last time, or was it a new person?
New. Yeah, mine's pretty funny, so I'll let pTart answer.
You guys both know that I failed to pay attention to the other ones. I do not know if it's new, but this time it was Matriarch.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
What did Matriarch tell you to do?
I just got so excited that I actually paid attention to the gamer tag that I know she said something about Michael, and that is about all I caught, and I ran to hit the pause button because I was writing down her gamer tag and missed what was said.
Sure. She is the choice to tell you to tell Michael to go away to college, tell Michael to stay and don't go away to college, or to tell him to do whatever he wants, essentially, to not push him one way or the other.
Yep.
I think that's what I chose as the last one.
Go out on your own. Do your own thing.
So who was your gamer tag then, Frame?
So my gamer tag, and I don't remember seeing this pop up at any time, but anyway, it was Andrew Reiner of Game Informer. He's on my friends list, and so he was the one who told me that Michael should go do his own thing. I don't know if he's the chief. He's not. So Andy McNamara is the head guy, and he's like second in command at Game Informer. But he lives here in Minnesota, obviously. So yeah, he was the one who told me. So thanks, Reiner.
Thanks for giving us the advice. So you finished looping the time thing. You get out of it, and everyone is ill. They're sick to their stomachs. They do not feel at all well. And this time, they have a memory. They remember you having a conversation with Clarissa in the living room, and they seem to remember what that conversation actually was. They're concerned about it rather than just being oblivious the way they usually have been. So you don't have to tell them what's been going on. They already know it.
Yeah, I do find it interesting that everyone was back except for Clarissa. Again, I was a little nervous when the Nona and Jonas disappeared. I thought I had killed them yet again. But yeah, I was very relieved. I was very relieved to see them back. And of course, obviously, Clarissa is MIA again.
I do want to stop for a second to give credit again to Night School Studios for their amazing success in keeping the suspense up. They have played this exact same trick many, many times. The character dies, but they didn't actually die. And the character dies again, but they didn't actually die.
Yeah.
And essentially, every single time it happens, I'm thinking, this time it's real. This time I actually killed them. Oh God, they're dead, and it's my fault. It's really a credit to their storytelling and their game design and narrative that they can make that suspense last, even when they're playing the exact same trick on us.
Did you fall for it too, Frame?
Yes, kind of. I was like, okay, great. What happened, everybody? We're all gone. and trying to recoup again. But at this point, I'm like so on a mission. It's like, you know what? Because during the whole scene down at the pier, the dock there, where you're kind of learning about Adler, and she's, I found a letter on the ground next to the building. There's the mail slot there. That was my first collectible letter, and it talked about essentially a treasure map, right? I mean, it's not really the term they used, but ultimately that's what it was like. I was like, oh, she had things on this island. She knew about this island. There were secrets. There's something. And because my Alex is very much an adventurous person, she was, we got to go figure out this treasure. And so after all this nonsense with Clarissa happened, and it's like, because at this point, doesn't Clarissa say, by dawn, we're just going to take over, so have some fun for the last couple hours of your life. And I was thinking, okay, hey, so I barely paid attention where everyone was, because it's like, listen, nobody else knows except me. We got to go. I'm going. I got this treasure map, or I need to figure out what's going on. Let's go on a mission. And so I was I felt empowered. And so I was like, I don't need you, Nona, Ren, Jonas, get out of my way. I'm going to go solve this problem.
Very video game alpha of you.
Right? Alex is super take charge.
Our next task is to try and figure out how we are going to get back into the cave. Because the way we're going to save Clarissa and save the day is to get back into the cave. We need to find a way into the secret bunker, the bomb shelter, because the island is riddled with walkways and tunnels that connect that bunker to the cave. We need to confirm that that is actually the case, and we need to find a way to open the bunker. And we do that through viewing slides that Maggie Adler had that show her and Anna and some of the work that they have done on the research on the anomalies on the island already, and ultimately the key that we need, the knowledge that you can use a call and response radio system to actually open the bunker door. We finish that up, and now we have a chance to make another choice. We get to choose who we're going to have as our partner for this last section of the game, right? Nah, it's a fake out. Jonas is coming with you. But you can insult him if you want to.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, man, what the heck?
Yeah, because I chose somebody else, because I'm kind of sick of him now at this point, and yeah, it was Jonas yet again.
Yep. No matter what you do, you're getting Jonas with you for this last portion, but you can try and get rid of him and choose someone else, but if you do, it actually just ends up insulting Jonas and making him unhappy with you.
Mm-hmm. Totally did. Yeah, because I was like, I think I was going to go with, I think I said Nona again.
Yeah, makes sense. Spend time with Nona. She's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah, Nona's... Yeah, and she's one smart cookie. She figured out that whole triangulation receiver, whatever that was.
Yeah, she was paying attention to the little clues that had been left around the island. She listened to a radio broadcast because she found it interesting. She's smart, absolutely, and been useful to have her along. But no, we got Jonas.
Yeah, it seems like both of the boys are useless.
Fair point.
I will say it was pretty funny when we were walking. And Nona was trying to figure out the name of the fields, and she's like, Epiphany? Epiphany? And I was like, it's Epiphany. Epiphany Fields, Nona. Oh yeah, okay. I was like, that's such a weird thing to put into the game. But I thought
maybe they were afraid they were making her seem too smart, so they needed something to show that she was still just a kid.
Maybe.
Well, Jonas and Alex start walking on their path because they need to get to the woods. All the way back into the woods, and as we are walking towards the gate, Alex has a vision. This vision is of Ren drowning.
And this was the same background that was in that initial cave scene where I said, it's underwater and there's something in there. It was all blacked out. I couldn't tell what it was. It turns out it was Ren.
Might have been Ren. Could have been the submarine. Could be a lot of things. But we see Ren drowning right now, and Alex is pretty well convinced that it's real. Even though, at this point, I think it's reasonable to take anything that the game is presenting to us with a great deal of suspicion. Our character believes that it's real, at least. That he might be in danger, or that he is... We need to do something about this, perhaps. But Jonas sort of talks us out of it. He says, you were possessed. You've got that... the spinning like a top and the red eye thing going on again, mumbling, saying something about sandwiches, I think is one of the lines in here. ultimately that ends up being mostly just a throwaway scene. More weirdness happening. I think one of the important things about that is that it is a sequence that shows, again, the importance of water as a theme in this and drowning as a theme as this. When we were speaking last time with Adam, he mentioned that he found the anomaly where the cars had ended up in the water and the 4 teenagers in the cars had drowned. And obviously, the officers on the submarine is sunk and they drown. And here is Ren drowning. And a little bit of a spoiler, this is not the only time we're going to see a Ren drowning. So something about this is important.
Now, when Jonas was asking all those questions, did either of you make any effort to speak up and be like, I think there's something wrong with Ren, we need to go find Ren? Because in my playthrough, I did not make any effort to rescue him or mention that I think he's in distress.
I came clean about it. I'm like, wait, did I say if Ren's in trouble? I think I mentioned it, like I saw Ren drowning, and then the option was like, we should go save him, and I was like, no, we gotta go do our thing.
Very, very similar. I told Jonas that I had seen this, that was what was happening to me as he saw me spinning, but that I didn't particularly care because I, as the player, recognized that it was just the game and the island playing with me rather than anything that was necessarily real.
Yeah.
The odds of Alex suddenly developing psychic powers in the middle of this seemed incredibly low, so I was like, no. Let's just move on. If he's drowned, I'll deal with that later on. So from here on out, the game's ability to convince me that the characters who I see dying are actually dying seems to be a little faded. I thought perhaps that was because a lot of it from this point on is Ren, and I just didn't like Ren, so maybe it was just me. Maybe it still works for other people. But not for you guys, it seems. Not in this case.
Yeah, it could be. No.
There's a chance for a really funny optional dialogue bit. Because the woods are approachable from 2 different directions, you can go the direction that Ren and Nona went, and you have to walk right past them. And if you do, Ren starts chatting at you about...
Yes, I totally did that.
Did we get this plan wrong? Weren't you supposed to go to the woods? I thought you were supposed to...
Oh, man, I totally did that, too. I walked up to that thing, and I'm like, oh, this isn't the right way, so I backtracked and went the other way, and there was Ren, and he's like, totally that, exactly what you just said.
First, Ren asks if you're taking the scenic route, and Jonas' response amuses the heck out of me, especially having played the game multiple times. This is a sentiment that I think everyone will come to understand sooner or later as you play the game again and again. Everything's the scenic route. This game and this island are not built for quick traversal. Usually roads are built to be close to the shortest path between 2 spaces, and with some allowances for natural things in the way. Not so much on Edwards Island. The paths wind consistently, and you can only get to places by going completely out of the way first. So it's a little bit awkward, and yeah, everything is the scenic route.
And I got lost multiple times in this game. I don't know if you guys experienced that first time around, but sadly I've had to Google OXENFREE map to figure out where the heck I need
in the
to
game,
go.
But while it was helpful for Adam and Freem, as they mentioned in the previous episodes, I could not make heads or tails of that map. It was not at all clear for me, so I definitely feel you there, pTart. I was severely lost at points.
Is there a way to bring the map back up? Because, you just see it that once, and then as I travel along, I'm like, I don't remember which area connects to which one.
Isn't it the back
I
button?
ended up Googling it because I didn't...
Yeah, I think you can definitely bring the map back up again. I think it is the back button, but I don't remember. But even if you could, it may not have helped you.
Whoops, that would have been
It didn't
helpful.
help me. Maybe it'll help you, but it didn't help me. But this is a really good time if you wanted to. This section of the game right now is the best time to explore the island because you have access to all the parts of the island, and you can go collect all the remaining anomalies that you have, and all the remaining Adler letters that you can now collect that you couldn't collect earlier. So this is collectible pickup period in any playthrough where you're picking up collectibles. But in this case, you may or may not have because you may not know where they are or that they even exist, and you're really interested in getting on with the story. So as you were going through, how many collectibles did you guys end up picking up?
2.
Once you guys told me about the little radio rocks, I think I did like 3 of them, and I found 1 letter.
Not too many.
That's it.
Okay, that's fine.
I found 2 rock piles and 0 letters.
So yeah, my note here is that you can easily kill an extra hour in this section just doing all that kind of collectible work or getting lost. But we're going to press on to the next story-related thing. Depending on which path you take, you can see this now or a little bit later on, but you're quite likely to come across yet another random chair sitting by the side of one of the paths. We had a chair by where Ren was on the Ren's loop, but now we have another chair, and this one looks like an old-fashioned chair, like something pulled out of their time period and being brought into ours. More of that dimensional split and crossover that shouldn't be happening. So pieces of random equipment are showing up in our world more and more regularly from theirs, as they come and try and take us over in ours.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just thought they were like, oh, it's just random crap around. I mean, I thought it was weird, but it didn't seem like anachronistic. You know, I was like, oh, okay, there's a couch, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the visual is, it's a padded armchair. There's nothing necessarily surprising or unusual about that. You have those in our time period. The reason why it seems like it's from their time period is because Alex says that it looks like it's an old chair from their time period.
Yeah.
I just more related it back to, like you said, in Ren's loop, you know, you had that plain chair there. You come back, and now you have this other chair, and you're like, uh-oh, this is a sign. Something else is going to happen now.
Yep. Another chair, but not on this screen. Nothing much happens on this screen. A little bit of chatter between Alex and Jonas, but until we get to the next screen, we don't have anything big happening. On the next screen, we're going to have another time loop, because the game can't have enough time loops.
Nope.
This was an interesting time loop.
Yeah, this one took me a little while, because I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go initially. It wasn't as well signposted as some of the earlier ones. You have to go into the cabin where we found Ren initially, and as soon as we're into the cabin, Jonas is basically immediately possessed and starts chatting at us as the ghosts. And they offer us a deal.
This was a great conversation. I really liked this.
The ghosts want us to stop trying so hard to save Clarissa. Because, well, they've already won, but let's make it easier on everybody, and then they don't have to hurt us. They don't have to hurt Ren. They can just take Clarissa and ride off into the sunset on her, because they're going to do that anyway, and we can just sort of be peaceable about it.
Yeah. I went ahead and said, deal. Go ahead. She's all yours.
You took the deal.
Totally. It's like, you're not going to slaughter my friends? Awesome. Take Clarissa. Look, she's already gone. I haven't seen her the whole game, so it doesn't bother me.
I said that I was going to save everybody. I wasn't going to let the ghost take anyone. Because, I mean, I just didn't want any more people dying on this island.
Which is totally fair.
Yeah, that was my selection as well. But taking the deal, it certainly sounds appealing. But even when you take the deal, the ghosts aren't particularly friendly about it. So how did that work out for you? Did they jump with joy because you took up on the deal? Or how did that go for you? Because you're still going to go and try to complete this plan.
Yeah, I was super cynical about the whole thing. Like, Alex was just kind of a jerk. Like, it's like she was just getting tired of the whole thing. Like, listen, you already told me what your plan was. Sure, you take Clarissa, fine, whatever. I'm still going to go do my thing. Like, because in the back of my head, because even Jonas then after this event, he kind of confronts you about what happened. And I mean, I told him the truth. I was like, yeah, I said I was going to get Clarissa. I said I traded Clarissa for my friends. And he was like freaked out. He took your guys' stance of, what? Like, no, we can't have all these people getting hurt, and like even one person's too many, and you know, he's all. And I was like, you're just a liker. You just want to hook up with her anyway. So I don't care what you think. And they didn't really give me the option, and when they did, and I was like, look, I don't even believe them. So it's not gonna stop me because I can't trust them. They're freaking ghosts. What are they? You know. So yeah, they can have Clarissa, whatever. I'm still gonna do my thing. Maybe I can fix the whole thing. But when you click that option, you're like, well, I wasn't really going to do it. I'm like, oh, Alex, don't be such a coward. You know, if you had in writing and that, you know, a ghost contract, and that if they broke this contract, they would get sucked up into Luigi's vacuum, like, you know, then I'd feel more comfortable about it. But I don't trust these ghosts, these dead people. Like, they're going to do whatever they want or whatever they can to stay alive, just like I'm going to do whatever I need to do to stay alive.
But still in our time loop, we have another kind of weird vision flashback moment here where we see in the river is Ren.
Ren Ren was in a river?
Yeah. In the middle of this flashback, Ren's in the river.
Well, I didn't even see this, like, underneath that bridge, right, where the gondola is?
Under the bridge, yes.
Yeah, I didn't even see him down there. I saw Nona standing on the one side, but I didn't see Ren anywhere for the first thing. And she's like, oh, Ren's dead, he's drowned or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I saw it in the vision. Like, I didn't even see what they're talking about. And so I was just like, yeah, no, he's not really dead. Don't worry about it, Nona. Just do your thing. It's fine. And then all of a sudden, he appears up on the rock, like, crumpled on the rocks, dead. It's like, oh, wait. Well, I mean, now he's dead there, but I know that's not real either. And, like, I'm just trying to talk Nona off the ledge. I actually jumped into the middle of the river on that rock in there. And I was kind of standing around like, it's fine. It's fine, guys. Just stop freaking out, okay? I need to get Fix out of this time loop so we can go try to save our friends. Ren's not really dead.
Yeah, first he drowned, then he fell, then Ren just stopped. Ren just stopped.
Yeah.
And then the ghosts come back because you tell them, forget it, I know this isn't real, or you can make other dialogue choices, but I think that's a pretty obvious one. You're telling the ghosts off, this isn't real, stop playing games with us, let's do this. And they say,
just never say we didn't provide you all the rules.
Which I call utter BS on, by the way, because they really never did.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, what I wrote in my notes that they conclude that they say, Alex, this time loop is of your own making. Like, you've done this. They pretty much saying she's the one who set it in motion and she's the one who's, got the ball rolling on that and ultimately is the one controlling it with her radios.
I had that conversation in the house. It was very similar conversation with Clarissa in the house where Clarissa's like, hey, you started the game. You tuned in with the radio in the cave. What do you want me to do about it?
But yeah, they didn't talk about the radios. That was my inference. But yeah, they definitely said this time loop is of Alex's making.
They leave us, and it's time to do the old magnetophone wind up again. Pull the pencil out, wind up the tape one more time on 3 more magnetophones. What's interesting about this one is most of the time when we're doing this in the time loops, we're by ourselves. In this time loop, Nona is here, and it seems like the real Nona, except that it's not because she's responding to Ren's death. And her response is really heartfelt. This death is getting to her in a way that it isn't getting to me. And again, maybe it's because I didn't like Ren, or maybe it's because I knew it wasn't real, and Nona thinks it's real because she hasn't experienced this as many times as we have. But she's completely shaken by this.
Yeah.
And when we finish unwinding the time loop, she's gone again. So we unwound her. She's back with the real Ren in front of the bomb shelter.
Yeah, I didn't even see Nona sitting there at first. Because I was trying to get to that other recorder. When you do those, do you have to do the timing of the circular pattern? Because I just, every time I had them, I just went really fast, and it worked. But I felt like these that didn't fly. Like I needed to be a little bit more timing.
They all require some timing.
No, I had the same experience.
Oh, okay.
I experienced the same thing with this one, Freem, because before I just got up to him, whipped my stick as fast as I could, and this... But yeah, this one actually, you had to... It's almost like it was this clear music sequence when you were at the right spot.
Yeah, right. It sounded really normal, nice. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, the music plays in sync when you do it at the correct speed and tempo, and it's always been possible to do it too fast or too slow. Maybe this one's more difficult because they are trying to introduce new challenges. First we had 1, then we had 2, then we had 3. Now we have 3 again, but maybe it's the window for the speed you have to use has been narrowed. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, okay.
But we get out of the time loop. We got Jonas back to us. We talked to him about the deal or not. You told him about the deal, Freem.
Totally did.
Did you tell him about the fact that the ghosts offered you a deal, pTart?
I did tell him that they offered a deal.
I did too. I think that's the right choice. Just because the ghosts, even if they are, not successful in taking over our bodies, we don't want them to sow dissent between us and our friends. I mean, we're not going to get very far with Clarissa, probably, but if the ghosts are offering us a deal and we don't tell Jonas, and if we don't tell Ren and Nona about the offer of the deal, and they find out about it from the ghosts during one of these flashbacks during this sequence, maybe they're shown a vision of us interacting with the ghosts, that could go very poorly for us, I think.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, good point.
And they don't play by the rules. They're going to show the best version of the thing that they can to make themselves look good.
Oh, yeah.
We have to walk up the screen that we couldn't walk up to before because of the time loop, and get to the new building, unlock the door with the radio lock one more time, go inside, talk to Ren and Nona, who are blabbing on, per usual.
Yeah.
And send the signal, and the door can open.
That was a funny bit of dialogue of them over the PA. Like, just chatting away, having a good time. It's like it felt, it really grounded the situation. Like, it helped break the tension a little bit of like, okay, hey, look, they're okay. You're okay. You're solving this. You're figuring some things out, because I only imagine that once we get past this door, things are not going to be as okay.
It almost seemed like they were flirting over the speakers.
Yes.
Yeah, it's again, a couple weeks ago, Freem, you mentioned that the story writing is doing a good job of building tension and then hitting us hard with a scene and then breaking that tension with some humor or some entertaining things, so that it's not this constant barrage. We get a chance to relax so they can build the tension back up, to ratchet it back up, and put us through the ringer again. Because if it's nonstop tension, then it just doesn't actually work as a narrative. You need to have ups and downs, and this is one of those moments where they give us a chance to relax.
Absolutely.
We send the signal, it all works, we get the confirmation voice, and it's time to walk back to the bomb shelter. And we're almost done, but we have a few more things we had to cover first, because as we're walking back to the bomb shelter, we get another flashback. Michael and Alex are on the Edwards Island again, and it's as we transition from this scene to the next scene, on the way back to the bomb shelter, and Jonas is saying, we made a mistake, and then it's Michael telling us we made a mistake. It's basically the transition of stepbrother to brother about the time when we stole a car to go to a party that we weren't supposed to go to with our friend. This flashback is showing off some interesting dynamics of the relationship between Michael and Alex. They have a close relationship. They are friendly. They love each other. I have some daughters who are probably about the same age difference between Michael and Alex, and yet I can tell you that they don't act like Michael and Alex are acting right now. They love each other, but they're not going to be like this right now. In 5 or 6 years, when they are Michael and Alex's age, maybe they'll get to that point, but right now, they're fighting a lot.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get this way with my brother until I left for college. So that's when we got this relationship, is when I finally moved out of the house.
You need to have some separation. If you're living under the same roof as somebody, it's real hard to get along with them sometimes.
Absolutely. It was the same with my brother. When I left, we became a lot closer.
I blame it on them, by the way. It's the other party's
It's always
fault.
their fault.
It's the younger siblings' fault, for sure.
Well, they came along later, right? So they ruined the thing.
Exactly.
So I think that Alex, in this flashback situation, is experiencing that differently, because obviously it's Alex from the island in this moment from the past, and so she has different memories than the Alex who was actually there. She doesn't have the memories of the Alex who was there, who was living with Michael at that point, and probably very much annoyed by his normal habits that are frustrating to us as we live with each other. She's been separated from him for a year. She's been grieving him for a year. So that separation on her side makes a lot of sense. And she does miss him.
Yeah, this was a nice little moment. I had I enjoyed this and kind of opened up to Michael and was just, because I essentially knowing what was happening or what was going to happen, like, hey, like, this is gonna be our last time. I love you. That kind of stuff. Real cutesy.
And in this conversation, Michael also responds to our conversation with him from the previous flashback, the one we had when we were walking to the Adler house. He has a response to our decision, our recommendation to him on how to handle the Clarissa situation. So my recollection is that, Freem, you told him to break up with Clarissa.
He
said he did. He said, I thought it over, and it wasn't going to work out, so yeah, we're done. And now what that means is that in addition to us being responsible in Clarissa's mind in your version for him drowning on this trip to the island that we're experiencing, she also is going to blame us, if she knows about this, for causing the breakup.
Yeah.
Oh.
So first he breaks up with her, and then we kill him. So she really doesn't like you, Freem.
It's mutual. Hey, I'm sacrificing her to ghosts. Of course, it's, what?
Yeah, you're brutal
it's all
to
downhill
her.
from here. How did it go for you, pTart?
I don't really remember him saying anything significant about her, but I did advise him to stick it out with her.
And so did he mention that he was, or was it just because that was the status quo, there wasn't much to say?
I believe it was the status quo.
Okay. This flashback ends as Michael's talking about his own options, his own pressures. The pressure of being a smart, gifted athlete from this podunk town who is looking for a way out, and yet everyone else in the town looks up to him as the town's future. He's got a bright future as the mayor of this city if he just stays here or something. But isn't there something better for him out there if he goes off to college rather than staying in the town? And he's not entirely sure what he's supposed to do. And he tells this story about their Uncle Pete, who did leave. And the bit of advice that Uncle Pete gave was that, it wasn't a hard decision about whether or not to leave. The hard decision was about deciding what to bring and what to leave behind. And it's more meaningful than just the physical stuff that he's bringing, but what parts of the town in his own self is he going to bring, and what parts of the town and small town life is he going to leave behind.
I thought that was very, very poetic as well, given the situation that they're in and everything that's been going on. I thought that was, it made sense. It was, again, very good writing.
We wake up from our flashback, and once again, because we were in a flashback, Jonas tells us that we were out of it, possessed, red eyes, spinning around, whatever it was that we were doing, not great. So it's happening more frequently. Jonas is having his moments more frequently, and it's not comfortable for him. It's very clear that as the night wears on and becomes early morning and then later morning as we get closer to dawn, the ghosts are right. Their seeping in is becoming more and more permanent. So we got to hurry up. We got to get to the bunker and finish this. Fortunately, it's not too far away now because we wake up on the correct screen. All we got to do is walk around the bend, and there are Nona and Ren waiting for us.
Which I totally went the wrong way again. Like, it even put you on the path to go down. They're like, you are halfway down this path, and I was like, well, I better just go the other way then. It's like, oh, man, that was stupid.
As I said, every way is the scenic route.
Yeah.
You can go both directions, and you have to double back either way. So Ren and Nona are talking. What are they talking about for you, Freem? Do you recall?
Oh, yeah, Ren was trying to figure out like some homework thing. Crap, what was it? Like a science project or something? Oh, I can't remember the details. I didn't write it down, but it was one of those like you're worried about what's going to happen when you get back to the island. Like, we're not off this island yet. What do you get your head out of your butt? We need to get, focus.
Okay. How about you, pTart? What were they talking about for you?
Mine was definitely not homework. Mine, they were going, well, don't talk about it. I don't want you to talk about it. Oh, I'm not going to tell anybody. Are you going to tell anybody? And it was just like a back and forth of that. Like, I'm not going to tell anybody. And then I had the option on Alex to pipe in with one of the three things, and I just chose, so what is it I'm not talking about, or something like that.
And what are you not supposed to talk about? What's the secret?
Ren blurts it out. They're dating.
Oh.
Congratulations, you're going to get an achievement.
What the hell? I didn't get that.
You won't get an achievement.
Because Freem is the destroyer of relationships in this game.
Yes.
It seems like it.
Man.
So yeah, this is when the game sort of tells you if you succeeded along the path of matchmaking between Ren and Nona. If they're dating here, then you're going to get the made Ren and Nona successfully date achievement at the end of the game, which is not too far away here. But It doesn't matter too much because you'll have a chance to get it on your next playthrough or the next one. And it's not that hard to do if you're trying for it.
So our pictures are going to be different then.
Are they?
Yeah, the pictures will be different because the relationship is, are they standing next to each other or apart from each other? And then the facial expressions are going to be very different as well.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a picture of this one later on, I think.
Yeah, because in mine, Nona and Ren are like cuddling and holding each other. Alex just looks annoyed or just like she really doesn't want to have the picture taken. And Jonas is like, hey, look at me. I'm suave and awesome.
And before we go into the open bunker, after having had our conversation and having our picture taken against our will, perhaps, but we had to do it because Ren insisted, we have one last chance to interact with all three of the characters here. We can interact with Ren, we can interact with Nona, we can interact with Jonas, or we can interact with 2 or 3 of them. Our choice. We go up to them and give them a hug or not. Did you guys hug anybody?
I hugged
everybody.
everybody.
No, I ran straight into the bunker.
Oh, that's funny. Nope, I went and hugged everyone. I was like, this has to be an achievement if I hug everybody. Nope.
No achievement for hugging everybody.
Nope.
And Peter, you ran straight into the bunker. I know that our contributor last week, Carpe Adam 79, also ran straight into the bunker because we were talking about that, and he was very frustrated with himself for running straight into the bunker because he felt that he missed out on something like an achievement as well, like Freem was talking about. But no, you haven't missed anything.
Nope.
It's a sweet scene, but it's really not all that significant.
Oh, that makes me feel better because like I was just hating on Freem for being the relationship destroyer, and he stops and hugs everybody, and I go straight into the bunker.
You got a mission to do, though. I understand it.
I want to save everybody.
I hugged Ren, and he was just, he was kind of like, oh yeah, hey, thanks. And then Nona was like, oh, okay, we're doing this? What? Like she was weirded out by it. And then Jonas was also kind of like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. So it was kind of interesting.
Jonas's words are, I believe, I'm coming with you, right?
Right, because of the how the playthrough was going, it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, guys, I was kind of a jerk.
The night is long. I'm super tired. I'm hangry. It's been a bad night for everybody. Let's get this done. All right, and that is where we're going to leave it. You enter the bunker, and you're at the top of a long ladder into the bomb shelter. We're going to explore the bomb shelter next week, get to the finale of the game, which is not too far away. There's only half an hour or 45 minutes of gameplay left, and that may be overselling it in a certain sense. There's not a lot left, but there's a lot of stuff we're going to have to talk about. So we're still going to have a lot of discussion next week, and we hope you can be a part of it. If you want to join us in our discussion, we have a Discord server. The Discord server is discord.io/AH101. If you want to be part of our conversation live, get in touch with me on the Discord or Tree Achievements. I'm Kronos. That's spelled very oddly. It's Xpovos. And let me know that you're interested so we can get you on board if we can for the last week's recording. And let us know your thoughts, your favorite fan theories about what's happened, why this is happening, and what's going to happen next. I would love to hear from everybody who's played what their experiences were. So get in touch with us if you want to. And regardless, if you've been part of this, I hope you've enjoyed the game so far and our conversation about it. Let us know what you think in the Discord or send me a message. And for everyone, especially to Freamwhole and pTart for joining me here tonight, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
It's been fun.
Bye.